you can all, the rest of you can consider this one more week passing, so add 5 more gold to your amount.
Yay, that's so much money.
Uh, Technically speaking, you have an opportunity to find a way to start spending your legitimate amount of money soon if you do certain things in this session. Because I can't obviously dictate to go here, talk to them, then do this, because that's not really a game at that point. That's not really collaborative. You think you're going to have an opportunity anyway. So with Alina failing, but getting some cool effects and charms in the same time. So whatever, kind of a wash, right? You are given a tutor to help out until you pass the next magical physiologies test, which is going to happen soonish. But just so you all know or aware, the next test is you're going to be learning about owlbears next.
Me as a player love them.
Um, but Alina, you're gonna have to go over and to make sure you don't fail the whole entire thing, like an utter failure for the whole entire thing. That's why you're being given a tutor to make sure you're not going to go down a bad trajectory, scholastically speaking. So you get to meet your tutor. You have to stay in the physiology class after class, and he comes and meets you. He is large of stature, but he stoops over and slumps like he wants to take up as little space as possible. But he is very, very obvious to spot. He greets you and introduces himself in like a very spoke softened way. Like if he were to say the phrase "Hi, I'm sorry," I'd be like, "Hi, I'm sorry," like that. You would tell him to speak up a lot.
Huh. Oh, he's special.
That is your tutor.
Oh, God.
Minotaur.
Alina thinks he's adorable. Jesse thinks he's ugly.
That's so cute, though.
I'm kidding. He's like part cow. Cows are adorable.
Moo, bitch.
I mean, kinda. He's Quandrix, and he's a Quandrix aspirant, like you're kind of, like a couple of the other people and he actually aced this last test. He's took it on a different day than you guys do, but he does take that test because it is a required class. So since he doesn't have too much studying or tutoring to do, or it's so easy for him, it's like as far as academic requirements goes, it's a joke to him. So he's fine with helping other students and stuff. You're not the only person he tutors, but he is going to tutor you. He just sits down with you and starts to try to ascertain your level of how much you're grasping the material. So I'm gonna need unless you want to convince me to try to use another check, I'm gonna need history.
I'll just go with history.
I was about to say, what is your, oh, okay, you're good. What is your highest thing? It would be charisma, right?
I mean, out of skills, it would be performance.
I will be back in just a moment.
No. Come back now.
Because, okay, it was like this, Jess. If I mentioned that opportunity for you, because if you can, I want to let you justify some kind of skill usage where it's like, because it can get more into your character where it's like, well, yeah, I may not know everything, but I talk to everyone else and they let me borrow their notes because they like me so much, kind of thing.
Yeah. But I think, I do imagine, Alina tries to, take classwork and studying as seriously as possible. Like, she does have, kind of an aloof, bubbly, high energy, friendly personality, but it's like, hey, school's still important. I gotta learn. Gotta do the work.
Okay, so I want you to realize you having that high of a history roll shows Drazimir that you do take your studies seriously, and he is kind of unsure why you failed.
I think I was just having a really, really bad day.
And he goes like, "Are you as bad at testing or something?"
Maybe. can I paint your horns?
His eyes grow wide, and they just for a split second before they go back to their regular size and demeanor, and he just like softly shakes his head.
Okay. Well, keep in
But
mind
for
the
a split
offer's
second,
always
you
there.
did notice like it was a shiver of anxiety from him.
The offer's always there. I think they look really good painted.
Um, but because he values you in the sense of he doesn't know why you failed, but obviously it was because you didn't get the material, or at least that's what the impression is he's getting of you because you rolled so high. So I want you to put him as one of your relationship contacts on your slides.
Yeah.
More people.
I gotta remember to bookmark that.
Oh, I leave it open so I don't forget it.
Okay, I'm back.
Nice.
Alina made a new contact to potentially get a boon from later.
So, what was? Oh wait, I can. Go
Other
right
than
Yeah.
other than Yarnask?
Well,
Well-
yeah, Drazimir Yarnask is her tutor.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Alina's only ever met Lorene.
Literally.
Well, I'm guessing she's a fan of Aurora, but I mean, Aurora doesn't really like they're not really on friendly terms, so to speak.
Tsundere, got it.
I mean, not too far off.
Okay, I got him in there, and I put a 0, correct?
Don't validate me and my anime tropes.
I mean, it's at least more interesting than a kudere. But yeah, 0, because they're at least getting onto your radar as an acquaintance or associate before you can really gain relationship points with them.
Gotcha.
Or if you piss them off and you start doing things they dislike, they'll just like you less, because that's how life works. You can't just have everyone like you at all times for forever.
You could if you had enough money.
But my anime
Everyone.
trope.
Shut up about your anime tropes.
I'm aware of your tropes, but if you get too deep into that's what Session Chatter channel is for. So you go along and you go through the material that was on the physiologies test, and he is convinced that you might have just had a bad day or something like that, as you mentioned. But by the time you're actually done going over materials, it's basically evening, and you burned whatever time in the day you would have spent on jobs and club.
Fair enough. That is my punishment for being a dumbhead.
So much for having the whole conspiracy someone's out to get you kind of they ruined your testing period. Sure, yeah.
Well, even she wasn't sure if that affected her in that way, you know. She's like, it's like, I know that somebody did something to me, but did it affect me negatively enough that I failed, or was I having a
You
bad day?
never
Or like,
asked if you could check for that.
oh. Well, it seemed like the teacher was just going to be like, I mean, excuses, we can't make exceptions.
If she felt that way 100% and didn't believe you at all, you wouldn't have gotten the things she gave you.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind next time I fail.
Like, per fallback excuse, score!
It's like I fail. It's like I fail like the very next exam. It's like, yeah. So remember that thing we talked about before? Yeah. My frogs ate my homework. Whew, shit.
And you had Mikey and Raph, right?
No, you have Mikey because Orange was the top hat, if I remember correctly. I think I have Raph and Donatello. and you have Mikey.
We're all just stealing horses. I mean, frogs. It's crazy.
Nobody
We
else
didn't
claimed
steal
them.
them. They
need a
literally
home.
like they bonded to us.
Look, see, Sauce is so mad that you went and stole fucking animals.
I hope
No, he
his power didn't go out or
probably-
something.
Something probably
we did
went
not
wrong.
steal them. We appropriated them.
It's all them damn bird foods.
Appropriately appropriated them.
The fact that he just left, like he might have been talking and nobody could hear him.
Yeah, but I do not know for certain.
It's okay. Well,
It's like, wait a minute, Roll20 kicked me out. Hold on, guys, I gotta figure this out. Oh no, the little connected symbol went to not connected at all symbol on the bottom right, and none of you were talking. Like, oh no.
Oh,
Oh, we were talking.
yeah, we were talking about props.
I will move on to Goswin next.
Alright.
Well, he. Oh no, you're. That's right. I thought for some reason I thought Voss was Colson, but he's Kendricks.
Yeah,
That would be
he's
correct.
Kendricks.
Yeah. I will need a what was it? For 2 rolls from you right off the bat.
Okay.
One is insight.
One is insight. 10. And what was the other?
Deception.
Deception.
One,
Where was
one,
deception?
one.
Well, don't I get a plus to deception?
If you want to use it right now, you can.
I'm not gonna use it.
You're bad at deception.
Yeah, but I didn't do terrible.
With that insight roll, you can't tell how much your teacher has found out thus far in her investigations for her demeanor toward any given student, including you. So you don't know if you're caught on or if there will be any ramifications or consequences, dire or otherwise. You just don't know. 14, you are confident in your ability, even though you don't know what she knows, or she hasn't. You can't tell if she's having any tells. You are confident in that you're like, okay, I don't know if she catches on to something happening that leans toward me, but I know I am personally, not the highest, most important person of interest right now.
Okay.
With your lab assistant job, today is actually really boring because you actually end up helping someone do really basic shit. Like they couldn't get the fundamentals down in regular lab work, and you had to help them learn all the basic shit, like how to operate the equipment and crap like that, because they're just completely useless as almost a person, period.
Well, easy days, nice.
Yeah, so it's like you got to do something, but Earthmech Talk actually showed you kind of like ambiently proved that you had some value, or like you explained the basics to someone else, which also proved that you knew them yourself, and so you're not completely hopeless. And when you got finished explaining something to someone like. Because they don't this is how you magically light like our magical version of a Bunsen burner, as an example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like not everyone, because all classes are welcome to go here, technically speaking. So it's like, how does a fighter do it, or a barbarian do it, kind of stuff. It's like you can be pissed off, but still want to know how to use your magic, how to use magic to make your pissed offness more effective. So you explain how to use simple stuff, and you notice that at the comparatively speaking, from the beginning to the end, Earthmech Talk, instead of like glaring at you like you're a moron and need tutoring yourself, like how are you even keeping this job, to like, okay, so maybe there is hope for you after all. Fine, but that you can only get that in like the passive looks. And I'm not making you get a roll for that just because of your past experience with him as a person, because technically speaking, you could switch jobs or switch clubs if you want to. This game is this module is pretty freeform like that. You can just switch around jobs and clubs all you want. But don't expect to be like, well, I'm going to get a raise and a promotion, right? It's like, no, you just started like a week ago. What the fuck are you talking about? Stuff like that. Yeah. And for Dragon Chess Club, it still seems that the same two people you knew seem to be kicking everyone else's butt, because there are some skilled Dragon Chess players here, but you end up seeing them just like win after win after win, only having the very rare occasional loss. And anytime Rampart loses, he's not that necessarily a sore loser, but give me an insight to see if you can figure out what it really is.
Okay. I'm gonna say no.
Maybe he's not just a sore loser. You're not sure. But oh god, I'm spacing on her name. Tilana.
Mm-hmm.
She is playing you today, and so I'm gonna need both of the checks: investigation and deception. See how well you do against her, offensively and defensively.
So I should probably use my D4s here.
If you want to. If you think you're gonna, in this session, have another point in time where you might want to save them, you can do that.
I mean, deception not too much, and investigation probably not, so I think now is best as time as any. So I'll do the
Fair
investigation, then deception. Well, I guess I do need it. I doubt if that will help.
An 11 investigation, so what's your deception?
And then, again, 12 plus 3, so 15 on deception.
15 in deception. So, while you did a really good job trying to hide your own intentions with the moves you made during the game, you couldn't figure out her strategies well enough, and so in the end you did lose.
Mm.
But you put up an okay enough fight to actually maintain and get the respect of those around you. Because you're starting to realize that her games are watched by a good number of people, where it was like, yeah, I suck, but oh my god, look at them go, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can enjoy a sport but not be good at it, kind of thing, or a hobby of yeah. So you're gaining a minor level of renown within the club yourself, and you're not just friends with the people who are good at it. You're actually getting a bit better yourself.
Mm.
Okay, that would be your turn, Kendrix.
Alright, I will be back.
Go for it. Are you there, boss?
I am here.
Okay. So for your job, you are shown around to different destroyed, sculpted pieces. Some are literally painted on, so you see your Alan co-worker there to try to take off the paint without hurting the plant, but she's not doing that great because somehow, like, the magic to get rid of the paint, the spells she uses are kind of weird to the plant, but in like an unaffected way. Like, one of them ends up like turning like, say one line of paint goes across one of the like humanoid looking plant sculpture kind of things. If only one line of paint goes across it, her trying to remove that one, like, say it's bright purple paint. She removed that purple paint, sure, but now the whole entire thing, instead of being like a deep green, is now like pure white. All the leaves are white. They look just as alive, but they're pure white, and you're like, what the fuck? It's very obvious that that was not the intended result. A different one is where you go to another leaf sculptor, and for whatever reason, the head is removed, and so are like the arms up to the shoulders. They're not like on the ground nearby as like a statement of some kind. No, they're just gone for whatever reason, and it's like,
Well,
and the third is the most troubling, because you recognize it as the one that you've personally put effort into before, where you had to help fix and made pretty up with like the fireball casting wizard sculpture. The fireball is now limp at the ground in a ball of blackened mush, and give me a nature check to see if you can figure out the cause of this, if it's like natural or not.
well, I'm not super amazing at this, but here we go.
you can't tell the full source of what it is, but you can tell it's not like it's not like you can tell enough about you know enough about nature to realize it's not like someone sped up the natural process of the life cycle of the plant to just have it wilt super prematurely. It is not a natural occurrence, obviously. Granted, you would get more info, but that was just an 11, man.
Yeah.
Shuvadri has been accompanying you because these are actually all nearby locations. It was almost coincidental, but by this point you realize, yeah, it checks out. If someone's gonna like vandalize one of the like plant sculptures, it's not too uncommon the same kind of person would maybe tag a nearby area. They would seem the stereotype to do it, kind of thing. So it makes sense that you do work with her or see her often enough.
Yeah. Give my greetings. Voice my disapproval at the defacing of our once beautiful campus, now marred by this tragedy of self-expression.
She mirrors your attitude toward it entirely. She's very disappointed in whatever student or faculty member because she's not prejudiced against it. It's like just because something bad happened doesn't mean it had to be a student. Because she didn't have enough facts in the first place. So whoever did it, she was just like, it was like one of those, there was more to that. What? And like, if all the beauty magic can create, why do that with it? And like it's not like she's a moron or too naive. It's just she can't relate to wanting to use magic that way.
Same. Alright, well, I guess I'll get started fixing shit.
Which of the three would you like to try fixing first? One of them was a geometric sculpture that turned all of its leaves white up when she took the paint off, and it was very clear that it was not an intentional thing. The magic should not have reacted that way. Another one, as I said, the plant person there was missing its arms to the shoulder and its head, but it was very obvious either a human or an elf, based on the stature and the fact that there's like no tails, nothing like that. But you can't be fully sure because it's not a lot of details without arms or a head. And then the blackened, dead, former fireball casting wizard.
Well, I would like to try and fix my original sculpture, but I think I think I could probably help her out with her little color conundrum first. Unless you're saying I only have time to do one of them.
You don't. But it's one of those things like in like a Choose Your Adventure. You can do them in any order, but you have to get them all done, kind of thing.
Okay. So if that's the case, I will try and use.
So you said you want to help with the one that's all white?
Yeah, I want to try and help with that one first. I mean, I've got Druid Craft and Purify Food and Drink. I don't think any of my cure spells would be able to fix it.
Shivaji is very grateful for your assistance in the matter, and in doing so, she expresses her support in your task. And if you perform a survival or arcana check to help her, you can have advantage.
Let's go ahead and do that then. So let's see, my survival.
It depends on how you want to tackle this. You want to, is it from a magical angle or a natural angle, kind of thing?
I don't think it's natural. The funny thing is that regardless of which one I choose, the modifier is the same. So let's
Well,
see if
it's about how
Arcana.
yeah. Well, it's about how your character would go about it, though. You know, I don't want to pigeonhole you to one thing all the time.
Well, clearly I was not
Well,
meant
you
for
know what?
Arcana.
That was an 8, but you had advantage with it, so roll one more time.
Oh, yeah, you did say that, didn't you? I think I'll take the 8.
I guess it's kind of magic-y. You just know it's weird for sure.
Yeah.
Like, paint removal should not do that. It does not happen like that when it's on the walls that you see her remove. Because you've seen her remove graffiti and stuff painstakingly with a lot of effort and focus, and it does not change the color of the stone or the wall or any of the ivy or whatever or on the walls and stuff that it covers up. No. For whatever reason, this one's different, but you have no idea why.
That's odd. I don't know. I guess I could try casting a spell and see if that'll fix it.
Give it a shot.
I will cast...
You do you.
You know what? Let's try Purify Food and Drink. Maybe there's some sort of chemical substance in it that I can purify out of the plant. And then worst case scenario, I'll just cast guidance on her and see if she can solve it.
Fair enough. Casting Purified Food and Drink does change the color of the leaves, but it changes it to to like an azure blue, and you know it was supposed to be like a mossy green in what the natural color of it should have been, at least this particular sculpture. You helped it a bit, but it's not quite there yet, kind of thing. But it's one of those, if you want it to be done, you can consider the plant alive and not an immediate danger, but it's just still not quite right.
I'll just cast guidance on her and see if she can come up with a slightly separate solution from what I was doing while I go and look at the other two and see if I can figure them out.
Give me a perception check.
Oh god, not perception.
You got this.
No, I don't.
You don't got this.
Apparently Roll20 just hates me now.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you while you go away, while you're leaving from where she is with that particular sculpture, you see her do somatic components for a spell, but you're not sure what it is, and but you see her facing and talking at the plant afterward. But offhand, you're not able to figure out what she's doing. She might just be thinking to herself out loud, trying to like talk through the problem, but you have no idea.
Yeah. The next one I want to look at is mine.
Oh, the burnt one?
Look how they
dead
massacred
one?
my poor
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, you and your obscure references.
I don't think that's
Very
too
obscure.
obscure.
The most obscure.
Okay. I'll give you a choice of 4 things: Arcana, History, Nature, or Survival. To try to because I don't want straight investigation on this one. It's depending on what angle you want to go about it, but those are the 4.
So, except for you said Arcana, Nature, History, or Survival.
Correct.
So, except for History, my modifier for all of them is 2.
Well, how would Kendricks go about this? What angle would he try coming from?
I think he would start with a natural angle. Actually, no, this doesn't look natural. We'd go with Arcana. No, you didn't. You said Arcana, right?
Yeah, Arcana, History, Nature, Survival.
Well, I didn't do garbage.
You know magic was used on this, and Yeah, but it wasn't a spell.
Hmm. So maybe alchemy? I don't know.
I mean, I'm sorry. You didn't roll a 20 or anything, man.
No, I didn't. Let's see.
I'm sorry. Actually, your rolls tonight are not that amazing so far.
No, my rolls have been pretty mediocre at best.
Even on Wednesday.
Like that was a 10.
you need
I
to
think that's
contact.
the best I feel like that's the best I've rolled in over a week.
You need to contact the whoever like manages the Roll20 website and just be like, hey, stop targeting me specifically.
I'm sure a lot of
Yep.
people. I'm sure they do get some of those messages where it's like, "Your origin thing is not random at all, bastards!" And it's like, I swear it is. Leave us alone. That's the information you get from coming from that angle. You can try the other 3 and get into different information.
If that's the case, I will cast guidance on myself to add a D4, and I will try with nature next. I don't think. Oh, never mind. I don't think the D4 is necessary, but why not?
Well, you might get more information.
25 in total.
This plant was, in its entirety, all the leaves, all of the stems, everything all together. It had its natural life cycle pushed forward as if someone drained the literal life force from it. So it was like rushed through its life cycle and it just died on the spot.
So it sounds like I won't be able to heal it.
Yeah, it's not like one of those, it's a hurt plant, you can help out. It's like, no, it's dead.
But in nature, from death comes life.
Sure.
So I will use Entangle and Druidcraft to essentially recraft.
As long as you're appropriately using the slots, I don't mind.
I am. I only have one more spell slot available.
Because like, I know the RP stuff, you might have a long rest to recoup them anyway, but it's like, I just want to make sure everything's properly done.
Yeah, no, because I used one spell slot for Purify Food and Drink. Guidance is a cantrip, and then Entangle is slot number 2 out of 3. And then, obviously, Druidcraft is a cantrip, so I will use those in concert with each other to resculpt the sculpture. At least to the best of my knowledge. I don't know if I'll be able to get every detail right, but I will attempt to get as many details as possible correctly.
Gimme and actually give me a straight history check. I want to see how well you recall all of the shapes and all the details of the plant before it was destroyed.
Well, this ain't gonna go well.
It will.
Well, it's not terrible.
You get the rough shape correctly of a humanoid figure and a big ball coming from them. But the plant, but how you crafted
And I put the red flowers back on the ball.
Yeah, but how you crafted it, because it's not the best roll, I'm sorry, man, but it's not.
My character isn't that detail oriented.
Yeah,
so
the way you crafted it, it looks like you're having a fireball come from your hand rather than a wand, which would make a little more sense, because it's like, really? Your hand is now the beginning of a fireball? Like you have a fireball as a hand?
Yes.
Exactly. That's how the sculpture is. And when you get the flowers back out, they are the same exact shade as you made before. But now the face, instead of being a very obviously determined human, it is a vague humanoid-ish thing. It could be an elf, could be a human, could be a Goliath, based on the vague height of the actual figure. We don't know. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask if Shivadri could help me with the details on this one, and if she still hasn't solved the coloring issue on that plant after I'm done with this, I'll go back over and see if I can help her with that.
You return to the one. You return to the sculptor. They're all like right beside each other. They're different parts of the campus. So, and when you get back to where she was talking to a plant, she's actually not there anymore. But it is the right color now.
Well, I'm glad she was able to solve that. I just kind of wish I knew where she went, because I need help with this sculpture. Ugh, alright, if she's not there, I'm gonna put
It's
the
like
other one on
okay,
pause.
go to the next spot. I'm needed, kind of thing. And so she goes to where she's needed. But the time you took to do those things, that's when she finished and also left the area. Yeah.
That's fair. If that's the case, I'm just gonna go check the armless and headless dude, see if I can't fix that one. Because at least I got the general shape correct. I can worry about the details next time. At least for now. If I can find her before I'm done here, I'll see if she'll help me. To the headless dude! Away!
So, you end up hearing, because you don't, I'm going off your passive perception for this. It's not bad, obviously.
Yeah.
You can hear a muffled cry around a nearby building after you get to the thing. But like, okay, how am I gonna go fixing this thing? This seems what. And then you hear muffled cries. But because you heard a cry doesn't mean you can pinpoint its location. So I will now need a perception check from you.
Somewhere around here.
You are able to. You get the arrow. Let me see. I gotta draw this real quick. One sec. Well, okay, it's a lot worse of a curse than that. But you are able to that isn't a good enough roll to realize the cry you heard is actually Shuvadri's.
Well, I immediately attempt to locate her.
You would come across bad news.
Is this initiative?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. How bad is it going to be? Taking all bets.
4.
Literally dead center.
For the record, even though it says animated armor, these are like armored wizard robes, where they actually have like leather bits or metal bits actually on the robes themselves. So they're a bit more of an armor shape, but they are like wizardly looking robes.
Yep.
she's not nothing. So let me see. You do see a bit of light from around the corner, and she. Let's see. Oof. You've seen some other students around the school cast this, where it's like a weird reddish flare. And because honestly, this is like the one attack they give all fucking NPCs. It's so weird. It's actually called Magic Flare, and it just has a melee and range version of it. It seems so stupid. um, but let's see how she does, because she did roll a nat 20 on her initiative, and she is super not wanting to be attacked by a weird ass robe. She tries to hit the armor, but she literally she tries all of her might, but she can't do any damage to it as of yet. So that's fun.
Oh, goody. I'm assuming my turn then.
Yep, and you see her actually coming more into view now too, because she's fleeing and she looks a little out of breath because she's not used to combat.
Fair enough. "20 feet, I see it."
Yep, it's a weird ass floating piece of armored wizard scholarly robes. Yeah.
That, I believe, is literally as far as I can take it. Wait. No.
That close to her, you
Nope.
notice that
I have 5 more feet, so I can get there.
that close to Shivaji, you at least realize she's not currently hurt as of yet physically.
Fair enough. But I am going to stand here to prevent her from being hurt.
And now that you're on this side of the wall, you see that she was half done with writing some profane word that was painted onto this back wall. She was like half done, and then she had a couple letters left to get rid of the word, and then obviously she was, distracted.
Accosted. All right. Well, what do I have available for me to do?
One spell.
I do have exactly 1 spell slot left.
I don't know what all of you. I can open your character sheet and really think about what cantrips you have, but I mean, I don't have it open currently.
That's fair. If you want the shortcut, hover over my token, hold Alt, and double-click it.
It's good to know.
Yep. As long as your token is appropriately tied to your character.
You're not range
it'll
shillelagh,
do
and you
that.
have nothing else that's an attack.
To be fair, I set this character up for non-combat. I'm supposed to be doing utility shit. I can still cast Shillelagh.
Not 10. Well, yeah, but it's not going to help right now.
No, but I can. To be fair, my character is mostly melee anyway. Because, like, if you go to the core section and scroll down, like, I have claws and stuff. So I guess at this point, shoot, I might as well cast Shillelagh.
Yeah, because you realize it's not
It's
like
a
someone wearing
cantrip.
the armor who can be intimidated or anything. It's like just a rogue piece of magical attire.
So I will turn my quarterstaff into a Shillelagh. And take up an offensive stance against the road menace. In front of me, not behind me. Pass turn.
Okay. It doesn't. It's not. It's not exactly, let's say, smart. So it's just going to attack the closest one of you to it. So it's going to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was
I
his
mean,
idea.
that's not attacking her.
Does a 16 hit?
Uh, by a lot, actually. In fact, if this was Pathfinder 2nd Edition, that'd have been a critical hit.
That would be. Let me see. That would be 5 bludgeoning damage. It whacks you upside the head with one of its sleeves.
Angie. Alrighty.
As soon as it becomes her turn, as far as time-wise goes, she thanks you for coming to help her. She didn't know what was going to happen since it caught her by surprise. Although from what you can tell from your passive perception, at least, when it's like one of those when push to comes to shove, she's not like she doesn't have bad reaction time.
No, but fights are always easier with allies.
Yeah. And then you can hear her ready a spell behind you, even if it's not like the words coming out too loudly. It's one of those. Her presence obviously shifts because you get that she's doing some added components with it.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
She trips on a small pebble, and a firebolt she was gonna try to hit it with veers off horribly.
Well, at least it didn't hit you.
You hear her saying prayers to a deity you're not really familiar with.
Fair enough. I basically, without turning around, so I'm still facing my opponent, go, don't worry and take your time. It's not going to get you as long as I'm here.
She thanks you and stands up and composes herself.
Alrighty.
For the record, if you didn't say something like that to be supportive, she would have ran the fuck away. To at least basically use all movement to gain distance between it and her. But if you're basically the quote-unquote protector, she'll want to be close to you, and you declare that you were.
So I am going to use my shillelagh to boppinate it.
Let's see if you hit.
Guess it doesn't particularly matter what I use. It'll use my spell attack, right?
Yeah, it should use wisdom because you cast Shillelagh.
So I'll use my guiding bolt because it has the same attack modifier.
Okay.
Does a 14 hit?
Nope. Whatever magical aura is around this armor, you sweep right through it rather than through the armor itself.
Annoying.
Can you give me an Arcana check?
Sure.
Because this is something you would figure out while trying to strike it, or not. Never mind. It's weird magic-y.
I didn't strike it, so I didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Pass turn.
You're still the closest, so it's still going to try to attack. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say it doesn't hit you because I'm duh. A 9 does not hit. Let's be real. It flails uselessly at you. Like really? That's all you got. Your last one was much better. What happened, man? That kind of mood? Yeah. Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize this was the case. This is not good news.
Uh-oh.
It has multi-attack.
Well,
and
let's see what we've got.
and the 22 does hit. It deals 3 damage to you, bludgeoning. And it's just like it just stays there hovering. Shivadri. She took what you said to heart, and let's see. She is going to use the help action on you. So obviously your next roll 20 thing is going to have advantage. What do you want to do?
I'm going to attempt to bop it with my shillelagh. With advantage. Once again, I'm using Guiding Bolt because that's the
yeah.
appropriate
It's fine.
modifier.
It's fine. 16 does hit.
Alright. And then because Shillelagh says that it does D8 damage.
Yeah, so you gotta like manually write that in. I don't trust the whole just clicking guiding bolt because it's vastly different damage.
Oh yeah, but I wasn't going to use Guiding Bolt for that anyway. So. Hello? There it goes.
There's no modifier to it. I just want to confirm.
And the damage, so Wisdom modifier of 2.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I
do
could have
not.
just used my Cure Wounds for that.
Well, now you know.
Yep.
So it was 9 damage, right?
9 in total.
Okay.
Not fantastic, but better than last round.
You got a tear in one of the sleeves. It's not as animated as before, but it's not like it's slack either.
And then bonus action, I am going to Healing Word myself. Aha. For 6. It didn't bring me back up to full, but it did, in fact, undo a significant portion of the damage. And now I'm out of spell slots. Alright. End turn. Because I'm not going to move from here as long as she's in danger.
She seems to be, yes. A lovely 7 will not hit you. But I'm going to play the odds and say a 19 does. So...
Hello?
you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that rolled max on damage. You take 8 bludgeoning.
It's a good thing I healed myself.
I'm just glad it's not hitting twice in a row on its turns. You see that she lands a firebolt on it, and because you did see something hit it, give me an Arcana check, just because of how you interpret the magical interactions.
I guess not.
Fire hot!
Look,
You
man, I
see-
just got sucker punched by a robe.
But yeah, she hits it with a really good firebolt, and you see a large amount of it is singed, and one of the sleeves burns completely off. Like the rip you had incurred earlier, like goes all the way through, and like that chunk of the sleeve is just gone now. You hear from behind you, half relieved, half proud, kind of a humph. Now it's your turn.
Excellent.
It looks like it's not doing that well, but you do realize that if it gets to, if you let it get to its turn, it's not it may not be good things for you.
Bonus action. In this case, that is 8 plus proficiency of 2 plus my Constitution modifier of 3 for a DC 13. As I roar at it. Hello?
No, I'm manually typing in for that kind of roll. It's because I'm trying to mentally calculate right now, because keep in mind you're trying to frighten a magically animated piece of clothing that has no sentience, not fully enough to be really frightened. So I'm trying to figure out how to calculate that to try to let you do what you're wanting to do.
Well, normally it would say whether it's immune or not. And if it doesn't
Let's
say it's immune to the
see.
frightened condition, then
Oh yeah,
it would
sorry,
just
it
roll
does.
normally.
It's immune to frightened.
But my character wouldn't know that.
So yeah, you cast it, you roar at it, and it just stays slowly billowing in the air in front of you.
I mean, to be fair, I know that. My character
Now
wouldn't
your character
know that.
does too.
Yeah.
Now you do.
So I'm just gonna shillelagh him in the face again, or at least attempt to anyway.
That hits.
And then the damage, which we said earlier, because it is a shillelagh, I can do. Where is it? There it is.
Can you do me a favor and say shillelagh in your best Irish accent?
Not at the moment, no. I did 3. I hit him with my shillelagh.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
A bit of the lower half is in tatters, and there's holes. You literally strike a huge hole through the center of the torso of the robes, because it seems like the very material itself of the robe is like really frayed at so many places if it's not singed. And you realize it's not bloody, but if cloth could be bloody, it's fucking bloody.
Bloody cloth.
So it's clothy.
Tattered.
Extremely so.
In
Does it
any
mean
event,
it's not
that's all
hostile?
I've got. See, at this point, I might actually be in trouble.
Now you'll be fine.
Because my AC is poo-poo.
I know I just checked your AC. He hits with a 12. If I had to check, I'd go, oh, surely he's not as low as a 12, right? Oh no, he is.
No, I am not as low as a 12. I'm lower.
Well, I mean, if it's too... hey, If it makes you feel better, a 12 would hit me too.
Are you actually a 12?
Yes.
You take
Your
4
AC is
damage,
better than-
and that's only the first hit. Let's see if he hits for the second.
Which, by the way, I noticed my token's health isn't updating with mine.
I guess not.
I don't know what that's about, but
I don't know either.
whatever. Alright.
This one would even hit Incoretta.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Rixie.
He not dead.
That depends entirely on the amount of damage I take.
Three.
I didn't hear no bell. Although I would very much appreciate it if you could hit him again and just end this. I'm getting punch drunk from a fucking piece of cloth. I'm upset.
Oh shit, that's how Ashtono Joe died.
Whew. Okay. So you see her walk up to it, by you, with a very determined look on her face. Although, as an owlin with a very poofy feathered face, it's sometimes hard to really discern her exact emotion from that. Like her brows are furrowed. in a
Goes for
determined-
determined is floofy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how she naturally looks. And she does land with a 19 for shocking grasp. Just for the record, this shit was at like 2 health after your last hit. She finishes it off with like 6 damage.
Overkill.
Kinda, yeah. Now, but it's to the point where it's like blackened, and so you can't really regenerate it to figure out anything about it. It's just destroyed.
I could not care less at the moment. Kendrick's just kind of sits.
Thank you for using that phrase properly.
She hands you a healing potion and implores you to drink. It's just a basic one.
Yeah.
But you can hear when she takes it out of her bag, you hear clinking, so you don't really know what's in there. It could be more potions. It could be other like tools. It's like is that where she's like having material components in? You don't know, but you hear clinking when she takes it out.
Cheers. So, friend of yours?
She explains of what happened. That she was just going about her duties, her usual, and it came out of nowhere from some nearby bushes, and it did accost her, and she was really grateful for your assistance. You can change your relationship with her on your list from 0 to 1.
Let's see.
Keep in mind that you get a boon if it hits 2.
Was that this is the extra? No, this is the jobs, isn't it? Yeah,
Relationship table.
Oh, that was the Google Docs thing. Hold on.
Yeah, the slide.
There we go. You said I changed Shivadri to 1.
Yep, from set of 0. You have 1 point relationship point with her.
Nice.
And combat over.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm glad I found you for 2 reasons then. Reason number one, I was looking for you to see if I could get some assistance with some detailed work, but at this point, I'm glad I found you for the other reason. You were in trouble.
Yeah, because that's usually like sip on that. She did take out a drink of like basically basically a thermos, um, um, and even from a few feet away, like when you sat down, so did she. She seems to not have any issue sitting in nature, even though it looks very prim and proper kind of robes for how well she keeps herself.
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever she's drinking, it smells like really sweet, but you can't. But if you actually care to know what it is, give me a check, and if you pass, you know. But if not, yeah.
Not particularly, it's
Yeah.
fine. My character's not fond of sweets, and he hates healing potions because they tend to be bitter.
Well, they have a purpose, okay?
Yeah, which is why he's drinking it gratefully. So it looks like you're just about done. I still have one more after this, and then I want to finish up the detailed work on that my original sculpture with the fireball, but I can't get the details right.
She wants to repay the favor, and so she offers the remainder of her day to help you with your tasks. She can always get to this later on in the day, kind of thing, because this is like the last thing she was assigned to fix, and it's only got a couple of. It would not take her much time at all, so she offers to help you with your work.
I appreciate that. Is this near the statue missing its heads and arms?
Yep.
All right.
This is like the back of a building, and it's like you go to the front of the building and like a little off to the side, and it's right there.
All right. Well, I've got a little work right in this area that I could tend to with little to no effort. So if you want to finish this up, I'll go take care of that real quick, and then we'll meet back over at the other statue, the other sculpture.
She nods as serious as if it were a salute.
So, after finishing the potion, I hand her back the bottle and then walk around to deal with the headless sculpture.
Okay, so how do you? What would be Kendrick's take about how to try to solve this puzzle of like literally missing limbs and head from a topiary?
So, the thing is, the spell Shillelagh doesn't say it gains or loses mass when the spell ends.
But you have to use a weapon to do it. So unless you literally plan on doing like quarterstaff, your new arm. Now I have a spare quarterstaff. You're the other new arm, and you just leave them there.
Well, let's see.
Because you're imbuing a weapon with magic.
The wood of a club or quarterstaff you are holding is imbued. It doesn't specify weapon.
But
it basically has to be it has to be something made of wood that can be used as a cudgel. So if I were to essentially grab a hold of one of the branches, because it didn't say it couldn't be connected to anything.
True. The current amounts that you can get are nubs, though. The current ones that are at the shoulders, those aren't long enough to be considered it's like barely big enough of a shoulder area for you to grab into or onto to even cover your full hand.
That's fair. To be fair, I could use that to get the head back relatively easily, and then Druidcraft to floof that up. The arms are going to take a lot more effort, though, and unfortunately I'm out of spell slots, otherwise I would have just used Entangled to do it.
For Druidcraft, how would you make the head? Because, yes, you can Shillelagh Druidcraft, so what kind of head would you give the statue? It's a nondescript bipedal.
Let's see. Well, I don't remember what the other one was, and based on the vagueness of this one, it's either human or elf.
Yeah, if you want to know, you've passed by here before, but you weren't really paying. It's your job, so I wouldn't give you advantage. You need to give me a history check for how well you remember it.
All right, that's fine. Come on, history. Don't fail me now.
This statue was of a bald orc.
All right, fair enough. I will do my best to do that using, giving a little more artistic flair for the tusks. Instead of doing like branches or whatever, I would do hydrangeas. Make them a little more colorful.
So he has flowers sticking out of his mouth.
In the shape of a tusk, yes. Because hydrangeas tend to grow in pointy stalks. So I just grow the little buds of the hydrangea flowers for that. And then I'll give him a not necessarily stern, but a proud look.
At this point,
Kind of like
go ahead.
kind of like Urzmak talk, except with hydrangeas for tusks.
Fair. At this point is when Shivadri comes back to you and is trying to be helpful. She is finished because she's actually really good at her fucking job. It's just like one of those.
Yeah.
It just is a way to help out more than to burn time or make money much. She just want to be a helpful person to the community.
That's fair. I mean, to be fair, I'm really good at my job when I'm not being accosted by sentient clothes too. So.
Fair, that same.
She carries a handful of different sized and branches to you, toward you. It's like she's having like an armful, like someone's carrying firewood toward you, kind of thing. She's picked up around the nearby area. They're of different sizes and thicknesses, but she hoped they could be of help because she doesn't have. She's not a druid, so she can't do what you do.
I mean, that's understandable. I appreciate that. Let's see if I can work some magic. And then I'll use Druidcraft to attempt to graft the branches onto the arms to give me like a basic structure, and then try and use Shillelagh and Druidcraft to cover it in the same bush material.
Give me a perception check to see if there are actually any viable branches, or she just sucks at helping.
That's fair. You said perception?
Yeah, so you can discern which ones are actually. Oh, they all
Yeah,
look good.
no. Apparently, the game just doesn't want me to do shit.
Hey, you remember what the head looked like?
I did remember what the head looked like. I'm gonna give him T-Rex arms.
You give them, yes. What happens is you, based on you picking, let's be honest, bad branches that you thought were going to be good, you graft them on, you floof them up, and then most of them literally just break off. And it's like, ooh. It's not like a clean break where you can easily graft on or whatever with a little magic. It's like one of those split woods, like someone tore it off, like a tree getting struck by lightning, kind of like slicing into it, kind of weird, kind of breaking. And so it has the edging become bent and jagged. So yes, it is a fully standing, proud-looking, flower tusk having topiary of an orc with T-Rex arms. And the wood comes out of what looks like the rest of it is all plant and green, and the T-Rex arms are just like brown from the broken branches. Yes.
Where the little nubby claws would be on
Yeah.
a T-Rex arm.
Yeah.
I give a smirk at the thought of the actual Urzmak talk with T-Rex arms, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to deal with this another day. I don't have the patience or spell slots to deal with this at the moment. I appreciate the assistance. The one I need the most assistance on, and that I can actually do something with, though, is that one over there, and I point in the direction of the one with the fireball, because I can't remember the details.
She casually walks over there with you because this is kind of like around the time you would finish your work, but you learn that she doesn't have days. Many times it's not all. Today she had work but no club, and because you don't have a club every single day, so you know it's a
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
So she was just gonna do one of those things where it's like personal study of religion and whatnot in her dorm, and it's like, but no, helping you seems more helpful, so she'll do that instead.
That's fair. While
Uh,
that's going on, then I would at least try and keep her somewhat entertained with conversation of theology.
I'm not going to memorize all the gods, but she does go, if given the opportunity, she will be a bit more passionate and animated when talking about the deities that do help, that are all about protection and giving back to, not like kill yourself and be a martyr like Ilmater or whatever, but like, you know, just protect the common man, and help out your community and be selfless in a sensible way, kind of gods.
Yep. And my character will attempt. Kendricks will attempt to continue amicably in that conversation, but also the work that needs to get done.
I need an insight check to see how well you understand her directions, because she has worked around this topiary before as well, and she does remember the details a little more than you.
I should hope she remembers them a little more than me. Oh, hey, look,
You-
a decent roll.
You are able to get it back to having it look like it's the fireball is spurting out of a wand with a hand that looks justifiably proportionate to the actual figure.
Good.
Because that's not always easy, okay?
Hands are difficult. Although I recently learned of a drawing technique that makes drawing hands significantly easier, and that made me really happy. But anyway.
Yep, and you end up with a fully repaired fireball casting wizard with the help of your coworker that you have become a little closer to today.
Wunderbar. Thank you for your assistance. I very much appreciate it. I'll have to come back and tackle that T-Rex arm statue in a little on another day.
Um, a couple of feathers move on her face, but because beaks don't work like regular mouths, you don't. Give me an insight check.
Well, if the pattern holds, I'm gonna do shit on this one because I did good on my last one.
Now you're good this time.
Oh, you are smart. Good pattern recognition.
Yep, the game
She's
can't
too
let
sloopy
me
to
have.
decipher her emotions.
It's adorable.
She politely, but in a very genial fashion, thanks you again for your help today, and basically bids you adieu for the day.
Of course. Have a good study session.
And after the eventful work session you had, the club is actually really simple because today is just today's club has been a lot about just basic maintenance of plant life, where it's like how often do you water any given plant? It's a discussion of which plant is cooler, which plant is more utilitarian, what plants are like actually have a purpose rather than just being a nice addition to a home, shit like that. But otherwise, it's a really laid back club today. Even Erzmaktok is pulling shit on people for whatever reason. It's just an okay day today, so it's a nice thing.
That's fair. I'm gonna go up to Erzmak talk. So, I had a little issue with one of the statues that I was repairing today, and I ended up making it look a little like you. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish repairing it, so all I got was the face. But I don't know. I think I got a pretty good likeness in the face. So
when-
now you will be immortalized on campus as a statue.
He immediately asked you where the statue was located.
I tell him, but I also tell him that the repairs aren't finished yet because they cut the arms off and I couldn't repair those all the way, so they look a little silly. But I plan on fixing that after I've had a nice long rest. So probably tomorrow. So if you want to see it now, you can go, but frankly, I would wait until tomorrow when I've had a chance to fully repair it.
He gives you like he gets into like like to prepare himself for what's almost likely seemed very long-winded. And as long as you tolerate it and allow him to continue, he'll basically lecture you about the importance of one of the past professors that became one of the oracles, and explain to you the cycle of the oracles and like the walking around ancient things that are going around this land, that that professor is already immortalized as one of those beings, and that was the topiary of that famous professor. And it's like, how dare you besmirch his legacy by saying it was like him, kind of thing. He cannot even hope to dream to stand on the like toe to toe with that orc of legend, kind of thing.
So, first of all, I've had a long day because I ended up having to help another student who got accosted by a sentient rogue with an attitude.
That got his attention immediately.
Second, I was also running low on magic at that point, so I used my closest frame of reference to what I remember the statue being, a proud orc. If you have a problem with that, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you, but I was kind of harried at the moment.
Oh God.
Do I have something on my face?
Oh no. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. So you've seen Home Alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how. Okay.
Which one?
The first.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. What were their names? Like Harry and Marv, right?
The Wet Bandit?
Yeah.
The Wet Bandits.
How like Joe Pesci's character would go like he would like curse but not really curse, kind of thing. He would Earth Mystic kind of does that. You can't tell what he's saying, but you can tell that it's in Orcish. So it's a bit more guttural, and it's one of those things where give me an insight check.
Oh goody.
You got this.
All right, I did good on that one. Let's go.
You can tell that he's putting out his frustrations because he does like things done a proper way, but he's not overtly trying to admonish you or your actions any further because you gave a viable and justifiable explanation by helping out someone else in a very generous manner, and you were being considerate in your actions. So he wasn't going to bitch you out for that or for being tired, because this can be tireless work for plants. It can be rewarding and fulfilling, but it can be tiresome. And so
If you want me to correct you, join me tomorrow.
Yeah, he does that under like not out loud grumbling, kind of like he did in the movie, because
Yeah, but I can tell he's upset.
Well, yeah.
If he'll judge you that much, you can join me tomorrow and help me correct the problem. I need to fix the rest of it tomorrow anyway.
You know how in anime sometimes someone will turn around with glasses and you'll be like completely not see their face because it'll be like their glasses will be like completely like glow over with some kind of blue or white light, and it's like shing. And it's like that's what he does. Yeah, that's what he does. And it's like it's one of those. It's like I will meet you tomorrow, and like very passionately.
My anime tropes.
Yeah. The next day, you do meet him, but the club know your job actually isn't scheduled for that day. It's just one of those, you want to get it done right, so you're doing it at that point in time.
Yep.
You meet him with and he brings an actual schematic, what looks like one of like layer by layer, like both vertically and horizontally, like branches. The leaf, like the inner workings of how the topiary is. It's like, where the fuck did he get all this? It was just one fucking topiary. How was he this detailed? Kind of mood.
That's Erzmac talk. If it wasn't this detailed, I'd have to admonish him.
Like everything had a measurement and had an angle explained, everything. Like the exact slope of the tusks and the angle they protruded, like the whole nine.
Yep.
And he came with a couple of spell scrolls and hands one to you. It is a spell scroll of Entangle.
Wonderful. This'll help me save on my spell slots, or at least I can use those when I run out. Alright. Let's get this over with. And then I start getting... I'm assuming he wants to direct, so I will let him direct me so that I can get this done correctly and fix the statue. Seems a shame to do this. Oh well, I can always butt it later, and I'll just cut the head off and start over. And I will give him the budding of his head as a plan.
Give me a charisma saving throw.
A charisma saving throw.
I'll
Not
say you
terrible.
pass. I'll say you pass. That was a determinant about how quickly he got grading. Because you can see he goes a little mad with power and authority when given it. Though it's like he is one of those like you give him an inch he'll take a mile kind of people. But
I figured that out.
He does mean well, and because he wants to pay proper tribute and respect to those who came before him. And this is how he views doing it properly.
And I wanted to fix these properly, I just didn't have the correct details in mind, literally and figuratively.
The two of you work together on it, and he sees you as more acceptable company. Yes, you can put him as 1 point as well.
Spiffy.
But if that means if Seister are all around, it is then Incaretta's turn.
What do you mean if I'm still around?
Well, I don't. Someone else is always so quiet when it's someone else's turn, so I half don't know if you're still like AFK or some shit.
I mean, it'd be rude
Like
if
sometimes
you
I'll
interrupt.
mute in between rounds. Speaking of, I will be right back.
Go for it.
Yeah, like I muted myself earlier so I could eat chips, but I was still like listening to everything that was happening.
Okay. Because I didn't want it to drag on too long, but I wanted to see how it would be trying to give at least one of you some combat. Instead of just being like, hey, do 1,000 rolls and just cuz. Like some variety, okay? Especially considering I'm literally improving literally all of this. Because this is all optional content. So first at your work, you are once again asked to join the Iron Lifting Club from Greta. How would Incaretta go? Because she's asking you like every other day at work. You're like, are you sure you don't? Like you got that physique, you got the strength, you can do well. Come on, girl. You get that kind of like really upbeat attitude from Greta, like really supportive and everything. It's like she knows you can do it. You technically know you could do it, and so do you give in finally, or how do you continuously rebuff her offers?
Kill her.
Oh. Anyways, how long is the class has been going on, like the semester? Like how far are we into it?
A few weeks.
Okay, you know what? Honestly, I think after a few weeks of this, she'd probably give in just to satisfy Greta, because it's annoying her.
Like fuck, fine.
Damn, alright, Thunberg.
So now it's a whole ass extracurricular. That's crazy.
You're crazy.
Iron lifting.
What's it
I
called
am
again?
Levac.
Iron lifter? iron something.
Strixhaven Iron Lifters. That's one hyphenated, like 2 words hyphenated together. Iron Lifters Society.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
I can add it to your slide tomorrow or something like that.
Okay.
But give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. There you go.
There's something different about how Aurora is going about her business while you and Greta are working, but you can't put your finger on it because you can't see the finer details of her body language. Because you don't often just go up and talk to her, and so you would have to do that to figure out what's different. But you notice that something is different.
Okay, well, she'll keep it like in the back of her mind, but she's not going to go out of her way. You know, she's got shit to do.
No,
You
like
just don't.
for once, because you and Greta is in such a good mood, she works extra hard, and so you're actually done earlier than normal today. And you can actually put Greta as a 1 point for relationship.
Oh. Wow.
She really wants people to bond with for lifting shit and drinking with buddies.
Okay.
Well, one of that was already down, so.
She's in a really good mood today.
Does she ask her to go drinking?
Well, this is the point in time where you would have an opportunity because Aurora isn't quite done with her work. If it say it takes 2 hours for you and Greta to do all your work, and Aurora to take 2 hours, you get done an hour and a half instead of 2 hours, and so Aurora's still working for another half hour. So it's like you technically have the opportunity to go talk to Aurora if you wanted to. Otherwise, yes, Greta is always down for drinking every single time after work, every single time.
You know.
By
You
now,
know,
it's a standing invitation.
yeah, I think today they'll go drinking, and then with the promise of studying after drinking, which is a totally great idea.
Greta, give me a strength saving throw.
All right, cool. Hold on.
With
The
advantage.
best way to study is plastered, or so I've heard.
Yeah, give me a strength saving throw with advantage, or at least do it twice. Yeah, that wasn't your saving throw, but
Oh shit, you're right. It's there you go.
21 still solid. And I said advantage because you expect this of Greta based on her past behavior by now. So you're like, you see it coming kind of thing, like how people try to come tickle you, you flex or with your muscles so it does nothing kind of thing. Yeah, it's like that. She slaps you hard on the back because she thinks your mention of studying is a joke, and she thinks that was a really good one.
Hey. You know, well, she fuck, there's something in my throat. Anyways, Anchoretta thinks
Is it a
that
dick?
no, Anchoretta thinks that was a good joke and goes and slaps Greta on the back.
She will reciprocate. I need another check. This one not at advantage.
Okay. Yeah.
You get no. There is no staggering. There is no tripping. There is no pain. There is no damage taken. It's almost like a light pat on the back to you by this point because you're so used to Greta's, let's say, affection.
Back's calloused.
Kinda. It's like it's past going like beat red or bruised from all the beatings that she gives you for like back fives kind of thing. But from now on, you are no longer going to be hurt or negatively affected by any of her pats on the back, so to speak.
Oh. Yay.
Even though everyone could be so light, it might knock them forward or knock them over. You're just so used to it. You're awesome at taking her hitting.
We love the domestic abuse.
She doesn't have evil intentions. It's just she gets rowdy.
I feel like that's the same
Alright.
thing they'll say.
Like how some people like punch your shoulder or punch your arm kind of thing because they're just playing around. She's like that, but
What is she?
it's just like hand, open palm hand hitting your back.
What is she like when she drinks?
Not counting her current company, it's like if she's drinking with you, you are her drinking buddy, and you will not be the target of any of her effects. But like say she's not, but if like say she were an angry drunk, you would not be the target of her anger, kind of thing. She is actually a happy, flirty drunk, which is kind of weird to see.
Oh, wait, who's she flirting with?
A lot of constant nobodies that you're like, oh, that could be a few guys who look like they could be anime protagonists. A few people who like, oh, they need to get isekai because they look like complete nobodies. They need their own story, so people give a shit about them. She like any guy who is in like a 20-foot radius, she'll start to head toward, and you sometimes have to like pull her back, like nope, not him. No, I want better for you better for you than him. Come on now, you're better than this. But it's like she doesn't feel that way. She wants it. She might drink a lot, and she can hold her liquor, but everyone has their limit.
Gotcha.
And she starts getting it's like if you take it as tiers of like nothing, tipsy, buzzed, inebriated, drunk. She starts getting flirty, starting at tipsy, and it just gets worse from there. Sometimes they because give me a perception check.
Okay.
You have noticed by now that she has been bribing some of the servers at the Fire Jolt Cafe and the Bows End Tavern to give her really potent alcoholic drinks rather than just like regular tea and coffee and stuff, or like basically spike all of her shit.
Does she know something that Greta doesn't know about this place?
She's just having a fun time.
So I kind of feel like at this point, you know, like if Ankara has been drinking, she's probably not like in her gotta study, gotta do great mood, you know, like
That's why Greta thought it was a joke.
she's like letting loose.
Because whenever you ever get Greta to buy a round, you notice that it obviously does not taste like it normally should. Regardless of what the kind of coffee you think you know, you're like, someone made it weird this time. It wasn't my regular person. I guess everyone else just sucks at making it. Because it tastes a little off whenever you order it when Greta's around.
You spike the drinks, man.
She doesn't have a lot of surplus money because like a bit of her money it just goes to getting drinks when she's not working. That's how she pays for her habit.
Ah, Jesus. Oh, damn, I broke the mirror.
Otherwise, I will need a persuasion check out of you.
Oh, what am I doing?
You are having regular banter with her, but I would need it out of you no, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
If your character is curious about how the hell is Greta passing any of her fucking classes if this is all she does.
No, my character would definitely be curious about that, so.
As far as passing classes goes, if it's like a fail, pass, ace system, she barely passes everything. If you're thinking with the American letter system, she passes everything with a C-.
Makes
She
sense.
does just enough effort and studying in classes to barely scrape by.
Dang.
But that gives her enough time to get more drinks. She wants this particular night. You are since she wants to welcome you to the Strixhaven Ironlifter Society, by suggesting that you go after their white whale of a recruit.
What does that mean?
She wants you to recruit someone else into the club. And they normally say no a lot, so she thinks you're such a great person. You're awesome to be around. How could they not love being around you? You're so cool. And so if you were to suggest it, of course they would say yes. It makes obvious sense.
Also, is this some kind of pyramid scheme?
No. Well, actually, if you want to insight or intelligence check that, you can.
Actually, yeah, because like, what?
Go for it.
I'm suspicious. That way, I can intelligence check it.
Raw knowledge. What do you know about pyramid schemes in the first place? You can tell based on observations and past experience with her, she is not smart enough to successfully do anything remoted to a pyramid scheme. And you know for a fact from your raw memory from all of your past experiences with her that she likes you too much to ever try to get you involved in anything shady like that.
Oh.
So you can infer just from like all your observationalness, because it's going to translate in how much that translates into how much you're paying attention to her, and all of what you've known thus far. I'm doing stuff with her so far this school year, like in comparing everything, and like let's deduce this shit. What's going on here? And so yeah, this is not a pyramid scheme. This is not some trick. She thinks that you'd be great at the job, and that she has failed to do.
Oh. Well, I mean, if it's a task, I'm sure Anchoretta's, she's good for it.
She tells you the guy that they want to have join the Island Society. His name is Drazimir Yarnask.
Oh. Okay.
He is a prime candidate to join. She tells you, as soon as you see him, you'll completely agree. You'll agree completely.
Isn't that like typing?
What?
Like typecasting?
Yes.
It's because he's a bull, so he belongs.
She doesn't know that. Coretta was never told that.
I know. I'm saying like out of character.
Yeah, but for the record, and meta knowledge, he's literally not just Iron Lifters. Literally anyone who wants burly players or members of a job or a club, they always ask him to join.
Mm.
He is like sought after for far and wide because Alina has seen him and can vouch that he is fucking like. If there was ever a guy to define the word swole, this is it. But he is that way literally, naturally, without doing any effort whatsoever. And, but he does not have, physically and visually speaking, he would be a godsend to whatever physically oriented team or club he's in. But she happened to just exclude the part about why he doesn't want to join.
Huh.
I need an insight check from you to see if you realize that little omission.
Okay.
It's fishy. You do realize it. And it's like, well, he doesn't want to join. But why has Greta failed? Would Anchoretta inquire about this?
No, it's not going to help her.
It's like, well, it would help you not repeat her mistakes, technically speaking. If you know what failed, you know what not to try.
No. She would be like, and what? Yeah, English is hard.
Why do you think I have so many ums when I talk in this for the beginning, okay?
She would just ask, why can't you do it? Yeah.
She tries to explain to you, in half her words are slurred, by the way, and she like stretches her like, so What I mean is, and that's like their whole entire tone of talking, but like in a much more stereotypical Scottish accent because that's what everyone gives dwarves. So, um, she's drunk and she's a dwarf, and she is in between trying to go after guys that are obviously afraid of her because they do not want a dummy mommy. Because that's how they all view her. She's like 90% muscle. No one wants her for that. I'm sorry. That's her vibe coming off when she goes out after guys in the bar and drunk and everything. It's not always exactly pretty. Between bouts of that, she tries to explain to you in a very slurred fashion that she may have come on a little too strong, and he may be more receptive to a new face that he won't initially just cower from, because she's really passionate and gung-ho about her endeavors and her clubs and whatnot. So she may have, been a little much, and she think you might do a better job at coming across better.
Okay. Is there anything in it for me?
I need one more insight check.
Oh, okay.
You think there might be another reason why he said no, but that's all she knows for why he said no. Either she wasn't paying attention, or she didn't care, or something, but there has to be more to it, but if there is, she's not aware of it.
Ah, okay. Got the curse of 15 and 16.
It's not a bad curse.
Except for the last couple of rolls from Voss, it's a hell of better than his. I mean, come on.
So yeah, I guess now she'd ask, what did it for her?
She actually looked shocked by that, because she thought it would be something that you'd be like a challenge you'd be happy to take on, because she thought she knew you better than that when you asked that kind of thing. It's like, what? I thought we were. What? Why would you? Granted, you had a lot more drunken between all that, but that's basically the gist of the reaction. She's taken aback that you would ask selfishly like that. It's like she thought you'd be as gung-ho and up for it like as she was, and she's something along. I'm paraphrasing, but basically like the thrill of the hunt, the pride of a job well done kind of concepts, ideology, like platitude type stuff.
Okay. I mean,
then she starts getting a little preachy about it.
I guess Anchorhead will be okay with that. I mean, that is fair. Even though there's no money in it, but she'll just go and find him.
Oh, I need one more intelligence check from you because it's based on just straight up yes or no. Do you remember this? That's good enough. I want you to take it to your account in Coretta's decision for this. For that Greta, anytime you had a spiked drink, Greta never told you it was spiked, but she also never made you pay for it.
Oh.
So she's kind of been treating you this whole time because she thought you were good friends.
Oh.
I mean, are you guys not?
I didn't know we were.
She views it that way.
Well,
that was the intelligence check to see if you remembered enough to put all the twos together to be like, wait a second. Did she think?
Yeah, she did. That's okay. Friends are not bad to have, I guess.
Keep in mind when she asks you, is that like 8 at night, and you have no idea where this Yarnask dude even goes or sleeps or where he is. You know like nothing about him, you just know his name. That's it.
Is Anchoretta drunk?
Give me a con save.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess that would make sense for her to try and do it while drunk, so.
If I had if it was the escalating scale of tipsy, buzzed, inebriated, and drunk, you'd be at inebriated. Greta has been drinking a lot more frequently and a lot longer than you have. I promise you that. She gives you the strong stuff because it's the same stuff she's drinking, but you end up putting in a drink where she doesn't. That kind of mellows out the effect of it. Kind of like, oh, I need to get past this drink. I'm gonna have some coffee, but like she fucking spikes her coffee with booze.
Well, I think Anchoretta would still want to try and like pursue the goal, even if she is um
Even if it's at like 8 at night, and because this is like drinking on a Friday night. It's not too late for a Friday, but you don't know any details about this guy other than he hasn't joined the club yet.
yeah. So like her two worlds are kind of like mashed together right now. Like on one hand, she's trying to complete this task, right? On the other hand, she's drunk and doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Well, kind of drunk and doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So she's just, it's the best of both worlds. She's gonna try and find this guy. And if she doesn't, then, it's not like she's gonna end up in, like, Mordor or something.
Oh, that's where you're going now.
Give me a, let me see. Give me an intelligence check to see if you just remember. You did. Okay. You remember enough about this school and about how it works to know that one information you could really get, if you want to need some info, is going to be at the Biblioplex to see if any of the teachers might know a student of that name. But you also know that this late it's closed.
Oh.
8 o'clock on technically a school day, even though it's the last day of the week, it's technically a school day, and so it's closed right now. But because it was a nat 20, I will let you add on a perception check.
Okay, cool. Perception. Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna say it's because you're drunk and you didn't hear shit. Got it. Okay, then never mind. You know what? I'll be nice because it was a nat 20. It wasn't just over 20. It was a nat 20. I'll let you have one more shot at the perception because it can really help you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good enough for something at least. not going to give you all the answer to your prayers though. You hear people whispering behind a nearby topiary, and but all you get out of it is like, "Are you sure you can do it?" It's like, yeah. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. It's okay.
You know what?
Because it's night and not a lot of people are walking around, and so they obviously don't think they're being overheard, but they're still trying to be careful about it.
I think she would walk towards them thinking like that they have like they're trying to talk to her, like she thinks that the whispering is directed at her. Oh, okay.
Plus Bacchus.
Okay, so you are able to walk in a straight line and not into the topiary that they're standing in front of. Behind compared to you. Or so if you come that was the further that save was to make sure you didn't bump into anything, and that you didn't come across initially as like, oh, that's just a drunk bitch walking down the campus right there. You're able to hold yourself together well enough not seem like that to a passerby. So you come up to them. They both look. So it's two students that you could easily see getting lost in like a sea of people. It's like, oh my god, you two are so nuts. You're gonna blend into a. You should go work for the government of some kind of dimension because you two would blend into a crowd so fucking easily. You are so forgettable. Oh my god, I didn't want to know your names because I'm gonna forget them. They look that weird and just nondescript. Especially to a drunk person. And so. They're both surprised at you, and but so you have a moment right now to say what you want to say, or try to do some kind of check if you want to find something out about them and their appearance or their demeanor or whatever.
She would just say, what was that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. That the birds are too loud. Can you repeat what you said?
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it tracks.
Hey, you said she'd be doing this while drunk. One of them looks at the other a bit more frantically, and the one they look at comprises themselves. Instead of like looking like they're about to bolt, they stand up straight and look very authoritative to you out of nowhere, and it's like, you heard nothing. Don't worry about that. But we'll be going now. Have a nice night. Give me an insight check at disadvantage.
Okay. The fuck? Oh, there we go.
No, even
Someone
with a 12,
saying you heard nothing
Oh,
is the
sorry.
same energy as a criminal walking in on Batman investigating. Walking out of the room, closing the door. Hey, what happened? Nothing.
That is the smartest Batman, like, thug ever.
Yes.
Don't mind
Yes,
the
it is.
extra.
so the first,
four.
yeah, exactly. Well, the first two insight checks are 12 and 16, but even a 12, you realize that, bitch, they be lying.
Okay. Well, can she like?
They tried to walk away from you like they had purpose and they knew what they were doing, and they were like, "Oh, we're just ending this conversation now. Goodbye, good day." But they're just starting to walk away. But it's very obvious to you that they're trying to be nondescript about it and not very obvious about what they're trying to do or where they're going.
Okay. Well, as they're walking away, she's gonna yell over at them and say, "Maybe you got the wrong person. I think you were trying to talk to me. Can you come back?"
The one who did the talking earlier turns around almost like on one foot, like, "Arr!" and then like do just a 180 like heel spin thing, and they look none too happy with you.
Is it something on my breath? I did eat some onions this morning. We can have a conversation.
By this point, they are like 10 feet away from you, because I'm just gonna say that because you have slacked reaction time from being drunk. So they did get a few feet away from you while trying to leave before you had the wherewithal to realize what the fuck was happening. They whisper to each other. Give me a perception check with advantage.
Even while drunk?
Yes, because they're that close to you.
Okay.
11.
9/11.
Statistically speaking, it would have to happen eventually, Jess. And so, yeah, you only hear bits and pieces of the whispering between them, but basically because they realize you're drunk, so they thought it would be easy to get rid of you. At the same time, they see that you're imposing enough to not try to do anything forceful, so they're not sure what to do right now. You don't get exact wording from them, but that's basically the gist of what the wording is you do get.
Oh, okay. So do they just stand there awkwardly?
No, they stay whispering to each other indecisively. What do you think we're to do with this information?
Yeah. What was that guy's name again?
His name was Drazimir Yarnask.
Okay, she'll say, while you're standing there whispering weirdly, I am looking for someone. This Draco Malfoy guy, he's somewhere here in this school, and I would like to find him. Do you know where he is?
I assume you at least say kind of the right name.
If she slurs to Draco Malfoy, they have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why I said that.
I mean, she's drunk. What else am I supposed to do?
Say Drazimir. How drunk is you?
That name is hard to say without drunkenness.
You should have seen her earlier when she was like stumbling and couldn't walk a straight line after 2 mimosas.
Shut up.
Fine. Give me a dex check to see how well you can keep your motor skills.
I'm kidding, by the way. She
Straight
wasn't-
dex.
Oh, Dex chat. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, I mean, it's the same modifier.
Mhm.
Yeah, you said Jacob Malfoy. They know what the fuck you talking about. They look at each other both genuinely confused, but they look troubled to the point where they know if they where you realize if they did know the correct name, they didn't. If they knew who you're talking about, they couldn't help you. So in your mind, for how you interpret this, is they are unhelpful, people with zero information, and they suck.
Damn. Well, if you guys,
You said the weirdest non-name to them in the first place. Okay, of course not going to know, but you don't realize that's how badly you slurred.
understandable, have a nice day. She turns around and starts walking away. Actually, no. Wait, no, she doesn't turn around and starts walking. Because then
Okay, go ahead.
she's paranoid, even when drunk. So she's gonna walk backwards. She doesn't
I
want
was
to turn
gonna
back.
joke. I was gonna joke that you were doing that.
Give me give me a con save.
Okay.
Give me a performance check.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, see, you knew I have a negative one in there, asshole.
You're drunk, and so you do a really, really shitty moonwalk. But you're going backwards while still keeping your eyes on them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get stabbed in the back. No, thank you. And no witnesses.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah.
You realize at least 4 other people walking around the area saw how you're doing.
Oh shit.
But at least one of them is a faculty member you've seen in the Biblioplex before.
The faculty members, no. She has a reputation to uphold.
Give me an insight check.
Wait, hold on, that's not insight. Can I take the nature one?
No, that had a. Even if you didn't have the, it was some of the different, completely different bonus. It would have been an 11 roll. It's not going to do much better than a 9. I'm sorry. A fleeting thought comes to mind that you might rub 2 and 2 together for this and figure something out because of all the people effectively might be able to do something that a regular student couldn't. But then the thought immediately goes away because fuck it, back on your search for the guy.
Yes. Time to find Dreomare Malask.
Are you perfectly looking at the name and trying to figure out how to fuck it up?
No.
Because you happen to have a habit of doing mal for a lot of things.
Stop! I like that combination of name letters.
You mean the beginning of a name that's obviously supposed to mean evil or bad?
Stop!
Anyway, someone approaches you, and you only recognize. Give me a intelligence check with disadvantage to see if you remember them or not.
No.
You do not. She is a girl with twin tails, really pretty turquoise twin tails. And she is coming from kind of like the gymnastic building area. And she's on her way back to the dormitories. And you can smell chlorine coming off of her. But she, because it's that strong, because she was obviously in the pool recently. And she asks if you're okay if you need any help.
Bruh. She will say, no, I don't need any help. What makes you think I need help?
Give me a con save with a disadvantage. She concedes that you do seem to be well, but normally people don't yell or have really loud conversations or walk backwards like you are currently, in her experience, unless something was wrong.
Everything is fine.
Deception disadvantage.
Okay. Oh. Oh my god, it would have been bad either way.
Jesus Christ, woman!
Because technically speaking, you're on attacks that you're currently not succeeding on, and you're obviously drunk. And it's like not everything's 100% amazing right now, and so it's not. I didn't even. That's why I didn't say persuasion.
I mean, it would have been the same. They're both the same modifier.
Um, give me an insight check real quick because her face changes. So I want to know if you can figure it out. You do.
Okay.
She gives you her facial expression softens into a curious and defensive one to a oh, sweet summer child, you're a moron, aren't you? Oh, okay, that's what the case is. Okay.
What?
Wait.
That's what her facial expression looks like she's feeling.
Does she doesn't say
That's
that
what
out
she
loud,
looks
but-
like.
but-
Nope, that's not what she
Okay.
says.
Well, then
But
Anchoretta is gonna.
that's what said insight. That's what you can get from her
Okay.
facial expression changing. That's what that's the impression she gives off of with her facial expression. Like she gives a look of pity and understanding.
Well, Anchoretta she just internalizes it terribly, and she's just like, I can hold my own. Thank you very much. I don't need your sad puppy eyes.
I'm surprised you haven't thrown up yet.
She's making out a decent enough con saves,
Ah.
or she would have already thrown up. For the record, she is actually walking near toward the orc topiary that was recently repaired, and it was very possible that she would have directly thrown up onto and into it, but she made the save.
Oh, I would have felt so bad. Y'all did all that work.
I would have been upset.
So, give me give me one more. Give me another intelligence check. I want to see if you can put these two things together. Okay. If they didn't know anything about this, maybe she can help you find out this other person. If you don't know anything about him, maybe she knows of him at least. If the other people didn't, she's someone else to ask, or at least could be.
Okay, she'll say, do you have a moment before you leave?
She raises one eyebrow because you are giving the distinct impression that you wanted her to leave. She slowly nods like she was trying to acquiesce to a crazy person. Like,
Listen, I'm on a search for a person, okay? I think his name is Drazum Yarn Boy or something like that. But I need...
give me a dex check at advantage.
A 13.
You can say his name correctly.
A Drazimir Yarnask.
As soon as you say the name, her eyes light up in recognition. They are both Quandrix aspirants, and so they're both really smart and nerds, and so she knows of him. They don't have any clubs or jobs in common, but she sees him around the Quandrix campus. Because she likes to go there for the sake of like, what's it going to be like next year? Where am I going to get to live? What cool place do I get to hang out at over here? So it's kind of like that. So yeah, it's kind of like touring your future college if you live next door to it all the time.
Oh, okay.
That's what she likes to do because she's so excited about becoming a Quandrix member. And he's the same way. A little bit of that passion put into it, so he wants to get inspiration. She doesn't know him personally, like they're not good friends or anything, but she can help you find him if you want.
She says, "Yes, I will. I would love for you to take me to him if you know his location. I'm
She
very.
asks you for your name because so far you haven't given it.
My name is Ankareta Moldal Ramu. Nice to meet you."
She puts up her hand to her chin in thought, and you can hear her. Give me a perception check with advantage.
Okay. Oh. Cool.
She's kind of mumbly. You can't tell what she's saying.
Okay.
Why is it rolling like that?
Splitting up because there's so many rolls.
Oh, you mean
And
like how?
she's not doing the query advantage thing, so she could just be doing double side by side stuff. So she's just rolling it twice.
Yeah, I'm
Works.
feeling a little lazy today. I don't feel like clicking the button today, so.
So that's why it's coming out like that in that format.
I mean, I can click the button.
So she nods to herself as if in like finalizing a plan, and she greets you and tells you that her name is Lorene, and it's nice to meet you. And she'll help you when she can, but it'll have to be the next day because it's getting late. And she offers to bring you to the first year's dorm.
Okay, Lorene, I accept your proposal of searching for him tomorrow.
So you can end the day, but two things need to happen. One, I need a D2 from Matt.
A D2? Flip a coin. What way was it again? R or slash first?
Slash R.
Slash R to have everyone see it, slash GR to have only the DM see it.
GR? Wow.
Yeah, because it's GM roll.
I'll say it. I'll have it just roll it out loud because you already asked for it.
Yeah.
1.
A nat 1, that's crazy.
Crazy. I either would have got a nat 1 or a nat 2.
Then I need a D6 from you, Matt.
See, now that one, I can just click a button and be done. I like those ones. 5.
Okay. Then I will need a stealth check from you.
Stealth is right here. 17.
So to explain this is one of the days you have to feed.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up being able to make sure that you don't feed on any of your party members this time.
Woohoo!
And you landed on, and you ended up after Lorene bids adieu to Ankareta after they just met, because she's not quite good enough to get on your chart because you had one encounter with her while drunk. she's not gonna be a lifelong friend to you. I'm sorry.
Not yet, anyway.
You're not there yet. But your hunger grows, and you're stealthy enough, and you feed on Lorene tonight.
Oh.
Oh, great. Now she can't help me tomorrow.
She's gonna be shittier at helping you tomorrow, so we'll see how well that goes. He's the one who rolled a 5.
Yep.
Is that a
God
good thing or a
damn,
bad
Matt.
thing?
Stop eating people.
I'm not eating people, I'm just their dreams.
Stop eating them. Starve.
It's not an every night kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The boys gotta eat.
Boy, starve.
The next day you meet Lorene, and you're hungover, but not too badly. What? I was gonna ask for a con save to see just how not hungover you were. So what do you mean wait?
No, I said yep, like I was agreeing
Okay, yeah.
with you. Probably is.
Yeah, because I said Greta was giving you like really strong shit. So I need a con save for Ankareta.
Second.
You can shake it off before noon, without
Okay.
without the help of any potions or concoctions or any magic whatsoever. You're good.
Neat.
And I need a intelligence check with advantage. Yeah, you remember that you were supposed to meet Lorene at a very particular time at a very particular place. She's about 20 minutes late, but she does get there. Do you have how does Anchorita feel about the person who made the plans to meet to being late?
She's like checking the clock every minute and like kind of like writing down how late.
It's like 5 minutes after, still not here.
She's documenting it.
Adding her to your hit list.
That sounds like me on fucking Saturday morning when one specific manager opens. It has been months since we've opened at the correct time because the inept piece of shit doesn't know how to arrive on time. The time we open doesn't change, but
Apparently
he
it
is
does.
consistently 10 or more minutes late for the shift every fucking Saturday. And no one in the building likes him at all. The front of house hates him, the back of house hates him, and the other managers hate him. He has no allies in our building.
Okay, then a perception check to see if you know anything about Lorene when she does meet you.
1 sec, my hand is in a cat's mouth. Okay. Okay. Oh.
I don't know, she's just a little tired. Whatever, she's late. That's what you're focusing on here.
Well, and Greta will show her the documentation of her being late and ask her, what her excuse is.
Upon seeing your documentation, she does one of those little dismissive hand wave things, like the hand, like it's a weird, like how you push up your upper forward arm, almost like you're doing like a little duck mouth thing, like a puppet show thing. Yeah, but she just waves her hand dismissively at like that after bringing her arm like that, like whatever. Give me an insight check with advantage.
Okay.
Because yeah.
Look, this is for you, Jesse. Ready? There you go.
You get the impression that she could give less than a shit about doing things properly or by the book. But you have enough, that was a high enough roll to realize that she did intend on helping you, and it was intentional that she's late. But you pointing out that in documenting how much she's late, she does not care about that concept at all.
No.
It's one of, she's giving off the mood, do I help or not? Fuck.
Well, I did make a promise last night, albeit though I was a little not in the right mind.
That's why you got the intelligence check earlier, to see if you remembered everything.
Would you please show me the way to Drazimir?
She takes you down a couple of different halls, and then and knocks on a door, and you realize you're basically in the boys' area of the dorms.
Oh wow!
It's the first year dorms, period. So it's not like the largest thing in the university. I swear. And it's not that the hallways aren't necessarily that short either, but she does seem like she knows where she's going. And even if it's not as strong as last night, there's still a faint whiff of chlorine just always clinging to her hair for whatever weird reason to you.
No wonder where she got her name.
No, her parents did not name her that.
Chlorine.
Yeah. I mean, think about the people who named their kid Latrine. It was so horrible. But yeah, you see someone else answer the door, and you actually give me an intelligence check.
Intelligence.
That's high enough to be honest. It didn't happen too far in the past. It happened pretty recently, and he was a big personality. You actually see that Xanther, the fire genasi you went during the frog race, you saw him from there. He answered the door in a very cheaper mood. A little bit too cheaper for a Saturday morning for your liking, but whatever. Um, and you see a quick exchange between them about her questioning where Drasimir is, because it seems like the two of them are roommates, Xanther and Drasimir. And she, to you, it's you would know enough about the inner workings of the different colleges kind of thing to realize that it's maybe not the most common thing in the world for a Quandrix and a Prismari person styles to be like roommates, but they're not officially classified as those yet. And so it's like, I guess it kind of checks out, kind of thing. Xanther said he already went to, he's doing an early shift at his work. Lorraine sighs because it means more walking when she feels like being lazy today. But she sticks true to her word, and you two walk together to a building that you've been to a bajillion times, the Biblioplex.
Okay.
Because I'll remind you that a lot of the lectures and classes you have there, are in one of those rooms up in front, kind of thing. And so she goes, like someone who really knows what they want in the grocery store but forgot what aisle it's in. She goes like shelf to shelf, like row of books, like each aisle of the books and everything. She's like ducks her head in, and then like no, and then she just keeps on going to the next one until she actually ducks her head in and then goes in completely. By the way, this is like 10-15 minutes of just doing this because there are so many fucking shelves. Does Incaretta feel anything or want to do anything during this process? Or would you just like dutifully follow her?
I think she would just follow her because she truly believes that her goal will be met.
Eventually you come across a Minotaur that he is helping put. He is looking at some titles of a few books, and he is handing one of them to another nearby student. At that point, right after the other one leaves, is when Lorene approaches him. Give me a perception check.
Mhm.
Well, actually, I'm gonna ask you this first. That's pretty well. But I'll ask you this first, and that can be saved. Do you walk up like right behind her, or because she's like rushing down the aisle of for this library of the biblioplex, like she's like rushing down because she sees them. Do you rush right behind her, or do you like take your time to catch up to her?
She takes her time.
Okay, then the perception check is warranted and will be used now.
Okay.
You hear that he is very soft spoken, but he is slightly startled. She comforts him and calms him down because he doesn't like being startled like that. Because she literally just ran up to him on his blind spot. And they do like a half minute of chit chat, and then, by the way, this is a really long aisle. This is like the biggest possible library you've ever seen. So yeah, it takes a little while to get through this aisle. That was a really high perception check. And so they do a little bit of chit chat before she tries to pseudo introduce you. Right now you see this Minotaur in front of you. The same one I gave you the image of earlier, yes.
Yep.
And he is indeed hunched down, like the biggest hunched over slouching person you've ever seen. And if it's like he's trying to hide how big he is, and if he's trying to take up as little as possible, it's like, who got muscle? Not me. And it's like he just wants to hide here and be a little librarian dude, and that's all he wants out of life.
Just a little guy.
He just happens to be like a foot taller than you, even well hunched. Lorene tells you to be kind and calm while you talk to him, but you're okay to talk to him.
Oh, okay.
Now be super aggressive.
He looks at you, and you have his full attention.
I mean, I can see why Greta had issues. So she'll introduce herself. Explain like where she
Give me an insight check.
What the fuck? Oh, there it is. I'm lagging, bro.
Okay, Jess, how likely is it that Alina, if given an entire afternoon / evening of being around on her tutor, would mention her friends she normally studies with?
She would probably mention that he's the one who's been teaching her. It's like, oh, you should have seen the guy teaching me. He's
Vice versa. Like, this is your study pod kind of group of friends. How likely do you think it would be that to him, you would mention your other friends?
Yeah, she would probably talk about them. She's a talker.
Yeah. So, as soon as you mention your name, he says like, his little minotaur eyes narrow a little bit, and and it's almost a question, but barely above a whisper.
What?
Because I would have given her full name. Like I would have said, like, yeah, her name.
If you're talkish enough, and you're the one who gives the nicknames,
Yeah.
it's possible they would have spread.
Yeah. So he would have heard both names.
Yeah.
So as soon as he says that, Anchoretta kind of like wants
Because
to
you have
come
no
in.
idea how he could possibly know Alina. Not really, unless you're paying super close attention to when Alina's rambling. Because she seems to ramble a lot because she loves talking.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's one of those just like white noise. Just tune her out. It's okay. She'll stop at some point. But at the point in time, you don't necessarily know that is an obvious reason why he should know that name.
Yeah, so like she kind of is like gonna say something, but then she's like, no, let me hold my tongue. But she says yes, that's me. For some people, call me that. Yes.
Like apparently.
One person calls me that.
Well, she doesn't know that you're the source. So for how Incorrect perceives this, it could be like the nickname is spreading and she doesn't know it yet.
So I what wait.
Hi. Like you just like stumble through a bunch of stuff trying to like start words, and then you're just like, hi.
I know my brain was just like that for a moment there. I was going to say something, but then I was like, wait a minute.
No,
I was going to ask him what book he's reading because I was looking at his picture and I was like, oh, he's probably not reading a book right now.
He works as kind of a helper in the biblioplexus, which is one of the things you guys could have gotten at the job. He would have been your coworker if you would have worked there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do have they do have like all those automated automatons who just help sort the books after they're returned and stuff. But he's one of the people who's like, okay, sure, it's down aisle like 113F, but it's like, that's a big ass aisle, man. Where are we talking? That kind of thing. So he helps students to specifically find what they're looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
She'll say, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I don't want to waste your time, but I'm trying to recruit people for the Iron Lifters, and your name was brought up.
At the moment the word Iron Lifters leave your mouth, his shoulders slump even further, and you just see it like a defeated, like dejected kind of like kind of like sigh. It's like, what? Give me an insight check. Don't worry, it'll be a really low check.
Okay. God damn it! I keep wanting to hit nature.
Why do you want to do nature so bad?
I know.
You're not trying to find out about human nature here. It's just insight.
I think I know why you want to roll that, because you got a +5.
That was high enough easily high enough to realize that he's giving off the mood of like, oh my god, when will it end?
Okay, well, you know what? Before you can even say anything, because like she
She doesn't
obviously.
say anything. That's just his physical body language
Oh,
reacting
okay.
to you saying the words Iron Lifters.
Okay, so like then she'll just say, you know, I see how this makes you feel. You know, I get it. You probably have so many people come into. I mean, look at you. You're like a beautiful individual who has many strengths and talents. You know, what are you doing these days? I'm curious. If you're not doing what a stereotypical minotaur might be doing, what do you do?
His really prominent, impressive brow raised a little bit, and it's like, are you flirting with me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, not intentionally. However, I would not be opposed to picking your brain on the types of topics you like to partake in.
Don't flirt with the Minotaur. He will literally split you in half.
What? He's like a pacifist. What do you mean?
Well, how do you know that?
Look at him. He's
I,
reading a book.
he is preferably a pacifist. You don't know it, but in Alina would, because he talks about, because he's a tutor, he would talk about his interests because he is part of the Dead Language Society, and Alina knows anyway that his greatest passion is poetry.
So I didn't mean with his hands.
No,
Oh.
yeah.
I was saying don't flirt with.
And otherwise, yeah, he works in the library and he loves poetry. And he's part of the Dead Language Club, basically. And that's how he spends his free time. Because
Mm.
yeah, he's a huge nerd. Alina knows this already, but when you're saying that, you're like, well, I'm not a poet. By the way, Lorene is still there. She never left.
Oh.
That makes her giggle wildly because give me an insight check.
Okay. I almost hit nature again.
You're fumbling really bad in this conversation to the point that you're coming off as badly flirting.
Um.
And you're coming off as the person who was like, what, me flirting? No.
I mean, like, have you seen this stat?
Me flirt? No, no, no. Unless.
That's kind of how she just came across.
It's like I'm not trying to flirt with you. What are your measurements?
It's not how it intended to be at all.
That's how it's coming across, and that's why it's making Lorene laugh. And that's what you're able to catch from her reaction, because you got the high of an insight check.
So what does he say?
Even though it's like hair on his cheeks and everything because of his countenance, you do see a little blush get to his face, because he's not used to being flirted with.
Oh, that's so cute.
You see his, because you realize that he does not have the most conventional shoes, so it's kind of like more like ankle shoe type things. But his hooves are completely unhindered.
Mm-hmm.
You see. Give me a perception check with advantage, because I'm gonna make it that easy to pass.
Yeah,
You can hear the scuffle on the floor for how his feet are like shifting nervously because he doesn't know what to do with himself because no one really flirts with him.
Oh, that's actually kind of sad.
He's a book nerd who no one really goes around that often.
Well, what does he say? I want to know. I'm curious.
He talks about his since you asked about what he's interested in, he talks about his love of poetry and how it can help him express his feelings and outlook on nature and the world and people and the world around him.
Oh. So he likes words.
Yes, but based on how he dresses, even it's not like a set uniform necessarily right now for work, like some other jobs have. but there is like the standard that he has to dress to. But it's very obvious that as far as color coding goes, he's obviously Quandrix, not Silverquill.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So even though he's really into words, he's also more of a nerd than a talker.
Ah.
Yeah. Because anyone who thinks like, oh, he writes a lot, right? Silverquill, obviously, and it's like, no, actually.
Well, Anchoretta will say that, you know, she's not the best with words, but you know, it doesn't mean that she can't put her emotions into other forms of interpretive artworks, such as sculptures, or perhaps chopping a tree into something cool. I have no idea where I just went with that.
He looked thoughtful as soon as he said sculptures, but then he looked awkward, and his hand went a little bit to his crotch, and he looked away when he said chopping a tree in two. And he looked a little nervous at that point. Because he does see that, because I'm guessing in Coretta, on average, when you're walking around, you do have your weapons on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. She's just gonna be like, okay. Look at this. So she'll take out her journal and let him see her journal, the one she writes in every day. And she goes on, she'll explain that, like, you know, she's not a wordsmith, but you know, she writes a lot of words and they might not make sense, but it's the world, you know. She writes the world, what she sees, you know, what she thinks, all in a book.
And he slowly reads and turns the pages very respectfully and very conscientiously, make sure no tear, not tugging too hard. It's like if anyone would ever like be considerate toward a book, you can see this guy really knows how. And it is it's like almost it's and to you it's really telling where it's like he is like strangely skillful with his digits for a minotaur. And so, yeah, he reads through a bit of your journal entries. It could be like mundane things that you don't really care to show someone. It's not like life or death things you're sharing necessarily.
Oh no, she's got another
Yeah.
book for that.
Yeah. But but he nods in understanding and like slowly more often, and you hear the now and then because it takes a few minutes because he doesn't read instantaneously, obviously. So it's just a few minutes of you, Lorene, and him, like standing around while he reads. And so it's got to the point where Lorene is like looking at nearby titles because she's bored.
Does Zamogeti have a written language? Or would it just be written in common?
Let's say yes.
Okay.
But if it's written in that language, you notice immediately that he understands it. And that's not a common thing to understand.
Wait, it's not common to understand
It's
common?
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying you activate it with a specific language. I would say, yeah, let's go with that.
Oh,
instead
oh.
of common. And it's not common to understand your language. You understand it immediately that he doesn't ask about any of the pronunciation or the grammar, nothing. It's like he already knows your language inside and out.
Ah.
You're both speaking to each other in common, but he
Yeah.
has zero issue reading the words you're writing in a different language. Or, actually, give me insight.
Okay. Insight. Oh, okay.
You're on the fence. You could be faking it to be nice.
Okay. So, you know, while he's reading, she'll just kind of like she kind of relaxes in a way, and she just says, you know, I kind of get the feeling that, you know, Greta was not the first person to ask you to join the club, and I am not the last. But it's clear you have a love for things that are not sporty or athletic.
Wouldn't you be the last if you were to convince him to join?
Well, she's saying that she's not going to continue to, right?
She's
Yeah.
like, I'm giving up on this mission. Fuck.
That's fair. I'm just saying.
Like, how much
would
of
be
a,
real-
like, how awesome would it be if you did convince them?
I honestly don't
Well,
think
that's what
that
I'm saying. Like, if this somehow convinces him, wouldn't you be the last?
I guess. But
Like, if this
she'll-
somehow... You're like, I give up. I understand. You're not going to join. You know what? You've convinced me. What?
But she'll go on to, you know, say that everybody has their strengths. Yours is clearly in words. And I respect that. And I honestly think it's a beautiful thing, and I don't think that I have the right to try and force you to change who you are.
He nods and he thanks you very quietly because it's one of the things that this is a moment where you're glad you're in a library, because otherwise almost anywhere else you're like, wait, what? Can you say that again? Because he talks so fucking quietly, like all the time. And he mentions that you're just like his friend Javanesh and very understanding, and he appreciates that.
Well, thank you.
Although you have no idea who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're like, okay, whatever that means. Sure. Smile and nod. But he does. He gives you some pointers about every so often he'll get to a page and he points at one of your entries and he tells you some tips of basically how to transform that into a free verse poem kind of thing.
oh, really?
Because of how expressive you are able to be, he appreciates that you can share your love of words and putting your emotions and interpretations and perspective into words. So he wants to share a bit of his experience and passion with you.
Can we see how well she freestyles?
First, I need a history to see how well you can learn from him, basically teaching you about the process.
Oh my god.
For whatever reason, Anchoretta is able to immediately grasp every little iota of a concept he tries to give to her. You don't know why. You don't know. You don't know if the universe is telling you you're meant to do some stuff with this guy. He's meant to help you out in some way. You don't know what the reason is at all. But you learn like a motherfucker from this guy really quick.
Let me tell you something. I think Soon is trying to get between these two.
My Minotaur would like to plow you.
The fuck? He just unmuted, said that, and then remuted himself.
Anyways, and now you will get performance with advantage.
Like forever?
Right now, whenever you try to create a poem from a journal entry, you can have advantage with the performance check in order to do so.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
As long as
Okay.
you're specifically trying to do that. And
Okay,
since you're trying to do it right now, this is the first instance of it.
It's very specific. I don't think it'll ever come up again, but yeah, she'll try and like do like a poem about like the hardships of living on the Hordlands.
I mean, 15's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, if I ever had a nickel for every time I had advantage to write a poem, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
I can't remember where that's from.
I mean, I heard it from Rick and Morty, but okay.
I've just heard. I must have heard people quoting Rick and Morty then.
It's pretty ubiquitous at this point, yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got a verse. Okay, look. Okay.
Go ahead.
I channeled my inner like creative artist, right? Okay, listen. In a nomad's life.
Remember, free verse, so it doesn't have to rhyme.
Oh, it doesn't? Dang, I just
No.
okay.
Free verse is just expressing how you feel and wanting to put your expression into words.
So it's kind of like
Okay,
slam poet.
Well, I'll keep that. I'll
Well,
keep
many
it
times
going.
slam poetry ends up rhyming when free verse doesn't have to.
Oh.
It was just like literally like a sentence. A nomad's
okay.
life through sun and storm, we find our way. You know, because it's like nomads and shit, and that's it. It's probably better when Anchoretta did it.
I need the inside check from you.
Dang, the nines.
He nods at you, and Lorene crosses her arms at you and looks very focused. But from your perspective, nailed it.
Yay! Yeah. So I think Anchoretta.
He commends you.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I cut you off.
He commends you, and he talks again more really softly now, where you're like every other word, you're like, can you just say that again? Oh my god, why are you whispering so much, fucker? You're so tempted to say that because he does talk so fucking softly. Oh my god. But he commends you, your effort, and the bravery it took to actually orate what you wrote, because it's not always a common talent to even writers. Not every poet can actually recite their poetry with such confidence, and he commends you for that. And you can put his name on your relationship list of characters.
Oh snap!
We've got
You
the
know.
same friends, Denver.
Also, in response, I think Anchoretta, she might end up blushing a little bit. Because I do think though that soon is in between these two. I really do believe so. There's something blossoming here.
Jess, do you know what she's referring to, right?
What?
Soon is the goddess of love.
Oh.
As far as Faerun goes, she's like the goddess of love, and to be blunt, physical attraction.
Oh, is only physical?
And I said and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lots of bards can follow her because they're all about the beauty of love and having limericks and songs about love and shit. But many of her temples can be are doubled as a bathhouse.
Are we at 0 or 1?
0 because you're barely adding them.
Oh, okay.
You barely got acquainted today.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Have another mimosa. Calm
Oh
down.
man, I wish I could.
I mean, if you want to just like make them after work, eventually your tolerance will go up.
He does not. He does not get your position in having to return to Greta. She's a bit too high energy for him, and she intimidates him. And on the occasion, she scares him because she's so relentless.
Anchoretta will tell him that she will talk to Greta about no longer trying to get him to join, as well as talk to other members of the Iron Lifters, and that you're only damaging the relationship with them, if they keep going.
He approaches you for a hug. Would you accept?
A hug? Oh my god. Okay, listen. She would at first be kind of like, what the fuck is a hug? But then she would just go for it,
This is like the softest, almost not. It's like one of those. If someone's hugging you and you are made out of glass to try not to hurt you, kind of hug. He is barely putting a nanogram of pressure onto you at all. It's like you can barely feel he's hugging you. You know he is because of his position with his arms and stuff, but you can barely feel it.
The poor guy's trauma. The poor guy's traumatized.
No, he just puts a lot.
Cat.
Yeah, I know, Jess. I heard too. He puts a lot of effort into not wanting to have muscle and brute force, not be what he's defined by. But he appreciated your like the kinship you shared, about the love of the written word, and He offers that if you ever need help with studying in the subject of like what we call the incomancy class, that he would help you in a heartbeat.
Oh, okay.
Does Incaret even have that one? Fuck.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound like something she would do.
Pretty sure I have
No,
it.
she doesn't.
Oh, actually, yeah. Give me an intelligence check, Alina.
Oh, really? Okay. Where's it? Why can't I? Fucking-
Just straight intelligence.
Oh, why was I looking at skills?
Yeah. You when being introduced to your tutor, yes, you. My bad. I forgot about this factor earlier on. You did recognize him being from your incomancy class.
Okay.
So he's one of those kids who just sits alone and off to the side, not wanting to bother anyone, but also not wanting to be bothered by anyone. Not in a standoffish way, but just in a vaguely antisocial way. It's like one of those, you don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. We're simpatico, we're good, okay. That's the vibe he gives off. Not like necessarily unfriendly, but a little awkwardly unapproachable during class.
I feel that.
But he talks to you just fine, at least in a professional and Owen slowly opens up over the time frame, but to talk about stuff like he likes poetry and stuff. But initially, that's what that's yeah, he's only professional at the very start, at least. But yeah, you know him from that class, and now he's your tutor. And but currently, neither Alina nor Encaretta realize the connection the other has to him.
Neat.
Despite Incaretta being called the fucking nickname. And Alina the only one calling her that so far. But okay. Yeah, that's what I want to make sure for Alina anyway. Lorene declares that her job is done and leaves the two of you alone.
Okay.
And after the hug, he parts. He thanks you again for the help with Greta, because he does not view it as an easy challenge at all. And he tries to get across as clearly as possible that he appreciates it, because to him you're doing him a great service.
Oh.
It's not just Iron, like the Silk Ball team too has like pressure hoop and everything. Like anything athletic based at all wants him. He's like pastored on almost a daily basis. It's really bothersome.
Dang, this poor guy.
And he's one of those things, like he wants to be allowed alone with his books and poetry. Like, can't people respect doing something in peace and quiet and like genuine quality solitude? So yeah, that's him. But he thanks you, but then he apologizes profusely, like almost to an awkward, like, okay, you can stop now kind of extent, that he has to leave you because he has to get back to work.
Oh.
Because you approached him while he was at work.
Oh shit, I did, didn't I? Oops. Well, she will, accept his little apology and be on her way.
As you leave the biblioplex, give me a perception check.
Perception. That is not perception. Oh my god, hold on. I need to put my glasses on.
Why weren't they on?
For the record, I mentally made the check 5. You still fucking failed. Oh my god. For whatever reason, Lorene, you catch up to Lorene, even though she left noticeably a few minutes before you, and you're not the fastest walker in the world. But for whatever reason, either Lorene was really being a slacker about walking, or she really did not want to get to where she was going, or something. But you caught up to her easy, and unless you want to stop and talk to her some more, you pass her up.
Nah.
Yeah, even though you've met Lorene, you're not really on friendly terms enough to have her on your relationship list.
Yeah, I'm good.
You pass by her once again, though a whiff of chlorine filling your nostrils. For the record, that was supposed to let you notice a second chance to let you notice the fact that she's not doing so well today.
Nah. Greta has a mission to finish. She's gonna go find Greta.
And whoever made her not have a good day is a real dick.
Right. Actually, on the flip side, Goswin's actually having a pretty upbeat day. Like, things are looking up for him. He's feeling really nice and energetic. Oh man, it's like you know, you don't. It's like one of those days where you're like, oh, I feel like shit. But the opposite of that.
You dick.
I already called him that.
But no one other than Aurora definitively knows that he has a possibility of being the cause.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good at hiding it.
That's why I'm asking stealth and deception checks of him. But he keeps on getting away with it.
Why don't you just like have somebody like be like your blood bank, but like your dream bank?
You would have to like gaslight them into doing that, considering how shitty it would make them feel on a constant basis, and eventually escalating. I want you to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's not a good thing.
I'm sure it's somebody's kink.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
People are freaky-deaky.
Okay.
So you are able to find Greta just chilling out at actually at the field where you work, because and you realize by now some of the stuff you have to pick up is some of the stuff where she's iron lifting herself, but this actually isn't club time right now. It is just her lifting because she likes to lift.
Okay, well, she'll approach confidently.
She immediately puts down something that looks like double her size in mass, and like, how does she lift that up? You stopped asking that a long time ago. But she drops it. It makes an obvious big thud on the ground, and like you're like, oh, that's gonna leave a divot. Fuck. And she bounds over to you like a happy dog waiting for its master, in her enthusiasm at least. Because she looks at you very expectantly, as if she expects nothing but good news from you.
So she's just gonna lay it out flat, right? She's just gonna be like, the answer is no, and the answer will always be no. And then she'll just keep going on. She'll explain, what Drasmir said, and then she'll like rationalize it.
To what extent? What are you relaying?
Oh, that Drasmir's he's not the athletic type. He may look the part, but he isn't the part, and he doesn't want to be. And it's not our decision to force him into this life that some of us have chosen, some of us have been thrust into by our parents. So there's no trauma there at all, totally. And she also says that she is in full support of him going down his own path, but she would gladly recruit other people who actually would like to join these more athletic clubs.
After the shock and confusion passes over Greta's face, because it was there for a while, she actually rebuttals or rebukes one of the points you brought up, which is about how he's not really the muscular type, even though he looks it. She tells you about an anecdote where the gist is, in a fight or flight situation, he is a really strong motherfucker, and that you would want on your side.
Okay,
and he can show brawn when need be, and she wants to put that to work in a competitive setting.
But Greta, listen, it's not our job to force him to do that. In the end, it's only going to hurt us. It's going to hurt him. You know, he might even leave the school because he might see it as harassment. We don't want
Persuasion.
that. Fuck me.
That wasn't persuasion.
Oh, it wasn't? Oh,
No.
oh,
I thought,
oh.
wait, I give you a little more time to try to correct it, but apparently you didn't see the difference.
Oh no, it's there's too many P's. Okay, 11's better than 9.
If she had the size over you, it would be like wrapping her arm around your shoulder, but she really fucking doesn't. So she puts it around your lower back, with the same kind of mood where it was like, Anchoretta. It's like, oh, you're such a so and so. Oh, you're silly. You give up too easily. Oh my goodness. Is that the whole shtick about like, it's cute that you think he can't join us and have a good time. It's everyone in the Island Society has a great time. I'm sure it's one of the mentalities of as soon after he becomes one of us, everything will be fine. She's like really into that. She has positive intentions and she's coming from a positive place because she's genuinely convinced of this concept. But it's very obvious from what you've experienced that it is really not the fucking right fit for him. But you obviously did not convince her to stop trying to talk to him, even though you said you would. Would Anchoretta feel shitty about that, or keep trying, or what?
Anchoretta would have like a poker face, and she has a plan in her mind. She's not going to say anything about it. She got a plan. And I guess she'll just act as if, you know, the conversation's over. She'll help lift some shit. Something, I don't know.
Well, as I told you, this isn't club time. This is just like Greta personal time lifting because she loves to lift.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so does Anchoretta. Anchoretta likes to train her body, you know. So she might lift some shit too.
That cheers Greta up at least a little bit, where it's like you failed your mission, but you're still all right. So the next class, it would be Magic Physiologies, and you're learning a little bit the basics of owlbears, to the point where the vague general knowledge you most likely all already know is what you're taught in this class, because they go over all kinds of nitty-gritty details as time goes on. And as you leave the class as a foursome, two people, what was it? I think they're both. One sec. A gnome, a very familiar gnome and dwarf, run up to you. It is Rosie, which Kendrix knows a little more now, and Greta, and they're both pretty excited, and because the class ran late today, and it is almost time for the Bows End Tavern opening for the year. And they want you to come and go to this new event with them called Wizard Gizzards.
Wizard Gizzards.
Gizzards. Oh, we love gizzards.
The gist of the game is that it's a mechanical contraption for one of the classes that it shoots out. It's a box that shoots out like light bulb things, but they dissipate whenever they meet like a beam or a physical contact, an organic matter. When they make contact with almost anything, they dissipate. But does anyone have an intelligence below 10?
Nope.
I feel like I don't have to answer this.
I mean, I don't think. Do we?
Mine's at 10.
I just want to confirm. So you would all at least, based knowledge, know there is a class that helps like casters with like, hey, I got this beam spell. How am I supposed to shoot straight or right at my target kind of thing? Because practice makes perfect kind of thing when you're aiming at people. This is a device that helps teach you how better beam control and aim in those kind of classes. But after a period of time, there's wear and tear, and so they're not useful enough for class work use. And so they, when that happens every year, when they replace them in the first semester of every year, the throwaways get used in this kind of like event at the Bow's End Tavern, where people do like a game of it and have fun with it and stuff. And the two girls want you all to join them at the Bow's End Tavern for the event.
All right.
Can you all confirm that you will be okay with going?
Sure.
Kendricks will pass. He can't handle any more pets.
Rosie will laugh at your obvious joke because there aren't any animals involved. But she does notice she does comment and once again offer you to help make out to your little frog friends. And Alina hears the offer this time too.
Yes, we can work together.
That's all right. I'll join. We will have to plan a day to make outfits for my little friends here.
I need the two people with frogs to give me both an animal handling check.
Hey.
Let's see. Animal handling check. Here you go.
That's good enough. Both of you realize that, yeah, your frogs are pretty tame by anyone's standards by this point, to be happily just sitting around you and stuff, because you know how to handle animals well enough to make sure they're fed and whatnot, and that they are comfortable enough around you that if you want to change, upgrade, or anything like that with their current accoutrements, they'd be amenable to it.
Sweet.
So they're not glued to just their one thing they're currently wearing in case you want to have them wear something else. Or if you want to add to it. Like if you wanted to add like a monocle to the top hat wearing toad, you could, kind of thing.
Don't think I haven't already considered that.
A monocle and a bow tie and stuff.
A three-piece suit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
With tails. So Rosie talks about clothing idea for the frogs the whole entire fucking way there. Although it's only like a 10-minute walk from your current location. Greta is talking to Ankaretta and reminds her that she put someone else on the case for Drazimir, so she doesn't need to worry. But I would need Alina to have a perception check.
Perception.
Yeah, you overhear the name easily, and I want you to realize that you were given no prior notice that Ankaretta had and Drazimir had no connection whatsoever. So like, why would they need? Why would those two be talking about him? What's going on there?
So as soon as Ankaretta hears that, she's gonna like stop in her tracks and be like, "Who?"
She mentions that it's going to be a group effort by the whole Iron Society. It's going to be it's going to be like a tag team effort. It'll be fun, right? But you don't have to participate. Your job is done. It's okay.
Would I know enough about Drazimir at this point to know that he wouldn't want to join them and wouldn't like the harassment?
Correct.
So then,
even if you didn't tell you personally, you could have known enough by his demeanor from how he interacted with you thus far.
So then I would probably confront Greta upon hearing her say this, and I'm just like, Please leave him alone. He does not want to join your club. He prefers books and poetry.
Give me a deck save.
There's my first bad one.
Greta compliments the humor of your friends in Greta, and she slaps down Alina. You take a point of damage and fall to the ground.
And Greta would respond by not paying attention to Alina on the ground, but she would address she would address
Let's fuck around that, shall we?
she would address Greta like, just directly, and she'll say, I don't think I can be a part of the Iron Lifters if you guys keep harassing this man. He does not want to join, and if I have to bring it up with the president of the club, then I will, but I will not join if this is how the conduct will be handled.
Kendricks will help Alina up.
Look at this, someone cares.
Sorry, I couldn't pick you up. I can't get my hands dirty. But he doesn't say that, so.
Greta smirks and nods a few times, understanding for Greta's words, and just like does a little head nod, like we're talking. Or giving insight check for anyone who wants to interpret Greta's body language.
Oh hell yes! What's she feeling? Damn it!
And Greta doesn't know shit. But Alina and especially Kendricks realize that it's one of those. This isn't over for what's happening, but as far as this conversation, it's over. And she's not going to openly, overtly try to upset Incoretta over this, but doesn't mean she's going to give up 100%. She's not a quitter. And with Kendricks' role, the little head wiggle thing is for like, let's table this for now. We're still on good terms. Let's keep it that way. Let's go have fun, because fun is always great.
I feel like, based on her personality, the fact that Alina would notice that it's like, oh, she's not getting up, it's just like, I'm not asking you to leave him alone now. I'm telling you, he doesn't want to join your club, and you harassing him is just not nice at all. Leave him alone.
Give me a perception check for Alina. You're not sure if it's because she didn't hear you, because it's not like you're in a library and other people are, and there are other people around, especially even though some head to the exact same way you are to the Bow's End Tavern, because today's opening night. You hear a hurdy-gurdy in the near distance with a familiar tune, and you don't know if she didn't hear you, or it's because she chose to act like she didn't hear you, but Greta does not respond in any way. But from that roll, you think it is technically possible that she just didn't hear you.
I think in response to that, and Greta won't even say anything, but she's just gonna go find Drasimir.
More plans.
She just breaks away from the group and goes to find him.
You don't know where he could possibly be right now, but you're like, I gotta find him somehow.
I should just walk around the whole goddamn campus if she has to.
I mean, you know what he likes, so you know where he'd probably be.
Go to all the books. Wait, are they in the library?
Biblioplex closes around this time, but you never asked when his work schedule was.
Oh shit, I didn't. You're right. Well, she'll ask around. Whatever.
So random students passerby.
Have you seen my Minotaur?
Give me an investigation check for Incoretta then.
Did you just say mind this? What the fuck?
Man, you suck. I'm sorry. It's not your fault.
It's the dice.
You're not even drunk this time.
I was about to say, what about me? When I'm trying to do shit for my character that's important to my character, I'm apparently garbage at it. But the moment I'm doing something not relevant to my character, that my character has absolutely nothing to do with, and no knowledge of, suddenly I'm amazing at it.
You get the nat 20s for something you're not even involved in.
You're like, I don't know what's going on, but I know a lot about this bitch.
So I'm gonna... If Alina allows it, I will pick her up and put her on my shoulders so she doesn't run the risk of getting knocked over again.
I would rather not ride on your shoulder if it's all the same.
That's fair, but it was also to get you closer so that I could talk to you about what's going on, because Kendricks has no idea.
That's
Well,
fair.
you guys can just like walk behind the other people and like the group of people walking there if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, but you did make a specific note that it is not quiet. So
You'd
it
have
would
to
be
like,
difficult to hold still.
right by each other to hear each other properly. Yes.
But that's
you're-
kind of
yeah,
what I
you're-
was getting
Yeah,
at.
it'd be like one of those. You'd lean down as a Leonin to make sure you're right by the ear kind of thing. Yeah. If you don't want to be overheard whatsoever by the people around you.
And it's a little more natural to have you sitting on my shoulder to have that conversation as opposed to the other way around.
Alright,
But
all right.
if you're not comfortable with that, I won't do that.
Fuck it, she'll ride piggyback.
Yeah, you twisted your ankle on the way down. That's what it was.
Definitely. You can ride in my hood.
I don't think Alina's that small.
She's
Yeah,
not
no,
a fairy.
Yeah, she's a
She's
sea
not a
elf.
fairy, but I am a very big cat.
Meow. Merlin is also a
Being so close to each other, the frogs croak at each other in like recognition, because they're normally not always that close to each other. So they're having. I want both of you to have like an animal handling check, since you have the frogs.
yeah.
Let's see. One second. There it is. Ta-da! You said animal handling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alina, they're really loud croaking for like no fucking reason. Like I don't know why, but once they got into a group, they're just really fucking loud. Kendricks, you realize these frogs are kind of friends, and they don't really get a chance to all four chat together.
That's fair.
So they're trying to be a little social since they're all close together like this.
So, what's all this going on?
And with enough animal handling and your natural passive insight, you do realize that yes, the croaking is enough cover for no one to be able to overhear the two of you talking.
Nice. So she would tell me, it's like, from what it sounds like, that girl in the Iron Lifter Society is trying to recruit a fellow student named Jazimir Yarnask. He's a Minotaur, so he is pretty big. He's very strong, but he's a very gentle, soft-spoken guy. He likes poetry. He likes books. You know, he's tutoring me to help for the next exam. He's in the Dead Languages Club. You know, he doesn't want anything to do with the Iron Lifter Society, but they won't leave him alone. They're just not. They keep harassing him to try to get him to join. Any sport related club just harasses him to get him to join, and he doesn't want to.
I understand the appeal of having someone that large, but it comes down to whether he wants to or not. No means no.
They
If you
don't seem
need a
to be
little
taking
help
note.
in the persuasion part, perhaps I could add a little muscle behind it.
You can try. If you could convince that Greta girl to leave him alone, that would be great.
I don't know how persuasive I can be, especially since I don't know the person that they're referring to.
Well, I'm sure we can think of something to help him.
Well, from the sounds of it, we have at least today and maybe a little bit of tomorrow to deal with it.
Sounds like it.
You approach as the music dies down, and a roaring applause happens, like surrounds the whole entire building. There's magical lights and everything, but for the record, mechanically speaking, even though there's like mood lighting for like a nice dinner kind of like mood, because this place is open from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays and 2 a.m. on the weekend. So today's open to 2 a.m. Oh yeah, sorry. It's a Monday, so yeah, sorry. 11 p.m. But it's still not too long after 6 for their opening time frame, and both Alina and Goswin would recognize Aurora fucking immediately as being the one who just stopped playing.
Well, yeah.
She gets swarmed by people who genuinely thought she was a great singer and instrument player, and it's not like one of those things that give me your autograph, but it's just a lot of like, oh my god, you're so cool kind of things. Yeah. And this is all that is taken inside the building, so it like the sound dies down a bunch and as you approach. And as far as the shitty investigation roll goes, you are off on your own, only to hear news of the fact that last anyone saw of Drazimir, he was headed to the Bozen Tavern himself.
What?
But they didn't know why, because he was in a hurry.
That makes no sense.
But that's where he is.
Okay, well, I'm just as surprised as Angerettas. I guess she'll go there? Make her way there? I don't know.
Wow, make the whole group together again. Nice.
For the record, I didn't plan. That wasn't like a last minute, like, let's just make sure he's there. No, he happened to be one of the tokens that I put there for a reason earlier on.
Angeretta's about to
for another reason.
Turn her face upside down to try and find him. She's like, I must protect this man.
Like, he's so bulky and muscular, but he's just he's a guy to protect. It's okay.
He's just a little bean.
I mean, like, he's not good. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's something about him.
He's 7 feet while hunched over.
Oh wait, he's set. What the? What?
He is big.
Wait, hold on. How big is a minotaur?
Big. I think like
Minotaurs
smallest is, like,
easily get 9 or 10 feet.
Yeah, he's hunched over and slouching almost all the time, but he's still like 7 feet tall with the slouching.
Huh.
Then
Yeah,
again, he's also young.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Age-wise, he's barely older than your average. Like, if you had to relate it to a human age range, because not all ages go to this, so relatively speaking, he'd be in his 20s or 30s, but you really can't tell offhand, but just visually for that. So the last you knew, you raced back to Bozen Tavern, right, to get your friends, because you had urgency on your side. They're just kind of headed there still. So you got to the group, caught your breath, and entered with them and Rosie, and that's where the session ends.
Oh my.